I think we're live, Stoney. All right.
We are live.
We are live, finally.
2025 NFL Draft. You want to give folks a few minutes to trickle in?
Yeah, let's give people a few minutes.
I'm gonna share the show.
Here. Yeah, I'm gonna share as well. Appreciate you guys hanging on with us. Just got off the 440 Sports live reaction show to Cam Ward being the pick for the Tennessee Titans, and then laughing at the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they had to do there, which I thought was very, very funny. We'll talk about that and so much more here today. Jordan saying, "Oh, we've been here. We appreciate you guys hanging on there with us. And I understand that Easton Freeze is not here with us in person, but us being late is once again, as always, an ode to him and him alone. Do appreciate you guys being here." Logan saying, "Finally." Eddie saying, "Good. Got the Jags paid. Jags are going to jag." One more thing before we really get off and running here. Just make sure that if let us know if our mics are sounding good and healthy and fun. And then we're going to get right into this thing on the Hot Read Podcast live draft show, night one here. Good to see all of you in here with us tonight. Once again, I am JT Ruhnke, host of the Hot Read Podcast, writer and reporter here on the 440 Sports Podcast Network. To my right is Stoney Keeley, editor-in-chief of Sobros Network, one half of Football and Other F Words, and co-writer over at Stacking the Inbox. Stoney, the Titans have officially picked Cam Ward to the surprise of nobody.
They have.
What else is there to say to our audience who maybe wasn't there with the 440 Sports reaction show? Timothy says sounds much better, so appreciate you guys for being here for both of them as we are off and away. A whole bunch of madness. I knew this was going to be the wild, wild west today. Just anybody could really do anything tonight.
Yeah.
And it starts with the starts with the Jaguars coming up to take Travis Hunter, who apparently is going to play corner for them.
That's
so
crazy.
It's very interesting, but excited to be here. Stoney, your thoughts on Cam Ward and how this draft has started? We have 3 picks in, correct? We have
Three
Cam,
picks are in so far.
Jags coming up to take Travis Hunter, and the Giants taking Abdul Carter, correct?
Yeah, that's where we're at. Look, tonight is the night to celebrate, all right? There is hope. The Titans have found a franchise quarterback. You hope that the rock bottom of a 3-win season is behind you and that you can begin anew with Brian Callahan, with Cam Ward, Mike Borgonzi, a new regime, a new draft philosophy. And in their minds, they have taken the most important piece to the puzzle. So if you're a Titans fan tonight, let's celebrate. Let's you've got your hands full.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. So here's the thing that we're going to do tonight, guys, which it's great to see all of you in there. By the way, share this show with a friend, retweet the show on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, share it with a friend who is watching the rest of the draft with us tonight so that we can get in here. And as Derek said in the other chat, getting yonkered off that yoinky is what we're going to do tonight. Here's what the Hot Read Podcast is going to do. We're going to see how many gin and tonics we can get before we start talking about the 2026 draft class tonight. That is the plan. Kenneth saying ESPN. Oh, Logan says now I sound like crap. Okay, so I'm going to pull my mic a little bit more out here. Kenneth says ESPN coverage was the worst I've ever seen. It's pretty crazy considering they were still trying to push Shedeur Sanders to the first overall pick tonight, which I think was very, very funny. It was not great. Look at that. No surprise there either. The Patriots take Will Campbell at guard. So outside of the teams trading up, pretty much chalk so far in terms of players, right? Those are the 4 players we really, really thought were going to go where they did. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, except to a different place and to a AFC South rival, which I think is going to be very, very interesting and fun to cover. You have Abdul Carter going to the New York Giants, which is really interesting. And maybe if you're joining us here on Saturday, I'll tell a little story about that and how that might have come to be, as well as Vrabel going with the most Vrabel pick, kind of, and taking Will Campbell, which is really funny when you consider they took Peter Skoronski 3 years ago when he was the coach.
It's so crazy, JT. We've got a room full of our best friends in there enjoying the draft. I was talking to our guys, Paul and Jacob, before the event started. We were talking a little bit about Peter Skoronsky and Will Campbell and the comp between the two, the short arms being the conversation. But for me, the arm length is not why Will Campbell looks like a guard at the NFL level to me. It's his play at the edge. I think he's a little slow to react to speed at times and kind of ends up in situations where he's chasing a little bit. Never had that feeling with Skoronsky. The issue for me with Skoronsky was more play strength. But I do think it was funny that they asked me about the comp because now we're talking about a night where Mike Vrabel, as head coach of the New England Patriots, takes a guy in Will Campbell, play tackle, short arms, probably better suited to play guard in the NFL. 2 years after, Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Tennessee Titans, takes Peter Skoronsky in the first round. So some things never change. Time is a flat.
It really is. And excited to see all of you guys coming in here. Once again, share the show with a friend. Make sure to retweet the show. Make sure to like the show. Subscribe to the 440 Sports Network. Once again, maybe it's just the network here, but we had a lot of stuff planned tonight. Some video clips to show you guys along with our thing, but I guess the network is just not cooperating with us right now, which it's very funny.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
because I'm trying to show videos and they just come up blank, and maybe I'm just gonna let it sit here for a second and we can see what happens with that. But so Will Campbell goes to the Patriots. I'm sure he's going to start out at tackle. Derek, is Will Campbell pregnant? I think. So there's something about like having aura as a left tackle, like as a tackle.
Yeah.
And it's like being boring.
Yeah.
Will Campbell doesn't have that. He has a different sort of aura. Just I don't know if I really jive with in terms of being successful at the next level.
No,
you said it the best. Like his hands are what makes him win. It's not the arm length, it's his hands. And I think that there's a real concern that there are some defensive edges who are just going to be able to exploit that all day, all week, and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, and I do think that is the strength of his game. Really strong hands. He does have a polished quality to his game. But then you see, like, when guys can beat his hands, like Landon Jackson did in that game against Arkansas, when guys can beat his hands and he can't get them locked in, he's beatable around the edge. And I think, to me, that was why I was a little lower on Will Campbell than a lot of other people are. But the Patriots got their guy.
Yeah, they did. And so it looks like the Browns have now had their pick in. Stoney, looking at your big board right now, right? You have Travis Hunter 1, Abdul Carter 2.
Yeah.
Mason Graham 3. We've really not talked a lot about who the Browns could look at past Travis Hunter. If you had to guess right now, like what is, like when you look at your big board right now, you just look at some of the players. Who feels like one of the best fits for the Browns right now?
Yeah, I mean, I do think Mason Graham would be my best player available right here. I don't know if because they were linked to Abdul Carter for a while. I don't know if they're looking for edge rushers. Jalen Walker would be the next man up in that regard. It is 5 too early. Do they pull the trigger on Shedeur Sanders at this point? I mean, I don't know. This kind of feels like a really unpredictable spot for the Cleveland Browns right now. Gun to my head, I would say Mason Graham, but that's just because I think he's the best player available at this point.
Yeah.
Could they take Ashton Genty?
I mean, they did get rid of Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and Tyler Warren.
It's going to be interesting as Roger Goodell comes to the podium here. Appreciate Logan being in here. The Tampa Bay Lightning are also in the playoffs. It's a yearly tradition now. Logan keeps me up to date on what the Lightning are doing. He says the Colts screwed up yet another power play, which is unpredictable. Is very predictable here.
Looks like it's going to be Mason Graham. Yeah.
So I mean that's
a great
chalk. Wrong order, but like right players in the top 5 there. Derek saying Vontae Mack should have gone here. I don't know. Some of those character concerns with what he's been tweeting online certainly get to me as well. I mean, Mason Graham, you talked about him a lot as one of your favorite players of this draft class, and you have him on your big board at 3. Certainly deserves to be in the top 10 here, no doubt about it. And you look at what the Browns are now going to be able to do with Myles Garrett on the outside. You
Dude,
look at Mason Graham on the inside. That is a wicked 1-2 punch that they've now built.
Mason Graham is a whirling dervish. The man has active, fast hands, a ridiculous spin move, low center of gravity. I mean, you look at the size, maybe he is a little undersized for defensive tackle, but the movement ability, the athleticism, the pass rush potential, the dude is a Beyblade. The guy is, I don't know if you saw the viral video several years ago of that little kid running by the pool, and the mom says, "What did you got?" And he says, "It's a knife." And he's just running full chaos, running around the pool, waving a knife. Mason Graham is that kid. So this is awesome for the Browns to be able to move back, still get a blue chip player. Mason Graham is one of 4 blue chip players in this class. To still get this guy at 5 and pick up extra picks like that, man, that's I think you got to be doing cartwheels if you're a Cleveland Browns fan right now.
Logan in the chat here says, "How much higher can those shorts get, Stoney? Holy bulge!" He says, "One wrong move and you're going to show a nut."
Listen, that's what do you think my end game is here, Logan? That's what I'm trying to. We got to sell something on this show, right? Yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't fluff the moose knuckle up for nothing tonight.
Eric says, "Do you guys think the Titans will make?"
Okay. All right.
He's got the grabber out. Do you guys think the Titans will make a move to pick again tonight? That's something that was floated around earlier today, that the Titans could be someone that moves in. Like, if it's Egbuka, like Emeka Egbuka, like I could potentially see that. I'm a believer that Emeka Egbuka goes before the 20th overall pick. I think it'd be tough for them to get back into the first round because you don't have a third. I really do not like the idea of them giving up future capital to move back into the back half of the first, considering what the options may be there. Like, I feel very strongly against moving back up into the first for a Luther Burden. I'd feel very strongly against moving back up into the first for a James Pierce. Like, it would take a guy like, I don't know, maybe like Michael Williams falling into the back half of the first round. It would take maybe Mike Green being there. It would take Matthew Golden maybe.
Could I interest you in a Donovan Jackson?
Once again, what is yeah? I mean, that one would certainly. Donovan Jackson is not on my board at 35. Donovan Jackson is certainly not on my board of players I want
giving up draft picks
to go get. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll be the only. I've said it before. I stand by it. I will be the only person in Nashville doing cartwheels if I come away from this draft with Donovan Jackson.
Hey, yeah, we're having a lot of fun here. We are 5 picks through. We've got 25 more to go, and we are here with you guys all night. Once again, we are live from the Track 1 building at the Sinkers 440 Charity Draft Watch Party with 25 to 30 other people in the other room hanging out, drinking, provided by Sinkers Beverages, the best liquor store in Nashville, and Shotgun Willie's Barbecue, all you can eat, all you can drink. The best to do it here. We cannot thank them enough for putting on this event where all the proceeds go to the OurKids Foundation. Excited to be here as the Raiders have their pick in.
Is this
this is in terms of Titans, right? I just saw Terry McCormick tweet. He said, "This is the happiest I've seen Brian Callahan since the day he got here," which I think is very, very funny. However,
looks like the Raiders pick is in.
The Raiders pick is in as Roger Goodell goes to the podium here. It's got to be Genty, right? I don't think it could be anyone else. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Ashton Genty makes a lot of sense when you have Raheem Mostert and Sincere McCormick on the roster.
Yeah. I mean, Ashton Genty, lightning rod. You talk about contact balance. You talk about the speed, the acceleration with a lane, the vision on zone runs, finding the open hole, accelerating through it, pulling away from defenders down the field, holding on to the ball and running through contact. This is a guy that maybe there are some concerns about the volume, the workload he had at Boise State, and maybe career longevity. You wonder about that, but this guy looks like he is built to be a bell cow. He looks like he is built to be one of the special running backs in the NFL. This is a guy that I think you can build an offense around if you're the Raiders. And now you think about the Brock Bowers there
Geno
too.
Smith,
like,
Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, 1, 2, 3 punch, especially in a Pete Carroll RPO offense, play action.
The Raiders have kind of quietly done some really good shit this offseason so far, and this is one of those moves.
Yeah. YouTube user says Stoney's plumber here. Dude is a machine. Had to reset his toilet. Busted.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. That is the comment of the night. Apparently, your plumber is in here talking about how your toilet is busted. And,
I have had a busted toilet, and I have had a plumber come to the house that ended up being a viewer or listener of one of the podcasts. So that must be him.
It certainly seems like he's here. Hello, Stoney's plumber. Good to see you here as well. Bridget says Raiders W. Logan saying Pete Carroll loves his running backs. Derek going back to the Titans and what they may do. He hopes they go for a receiver, have a young duo together with fifth-year options. If they were to trade back up into the first. Tyler Lockett, we haven't had a chance. I was rewatching Draft Day last night when the news broke, and I arose from my Draft Day, trance of mediocrity and said, the Titans signed
what now?
They did what? For you, does Tyler Lockett in any way change your opinion on what they should do at 35?
No, I mean, I think what it changes for me is that they no longer need to draft 3 receivers. They only need to draft 2, that kind of deal. But as far as 35 goes, I still think you're looking at the best receiver available or the best edge rusher available. If there's nobody on the board that you like at either of those positions, then I think you can start talking about other positions of need. But I don't think Tyler Lockett changes that a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, me too. I think you still could do well to get either an inside slot guy like a Jalen. That's why I think Jalen Noel continues to be the perfect fit for them, because he can play both inside and out. He's a guy that I think would mesh well with Cam Ward, and he'd be a guy that I think Brian Callahan could use very, very effectively. Yeah, I mean, that is where we stand right now. So through 6 picks, we're pretty chalk.
It feels chalk so far, which is kind of, I mean, it's interesting. We had the trade between the Browns and the Jags, but this was where things were kind of expected to take a turn, was after pick number 5. So maybe with the Jets here, things start getting a little more unpredictable, a little off the rails. But so far, it's been really expected.
Yeah. Okay, so outside of the trade, right? And I think we're going to see when you see the back half of this draft. And here's the thing, right? The thing I didn't really even think about, the Browns may be now in a position where you go back to 5, you get a guy like Mason Graham at a player that is still going to be super impactful for you on the defensive end or the defensive side of the ball. And now you have an extra first, now you have an extra second, now you have an extra fourth, that you can almost come back up into that first round, maybe get Shedeur Sanders, and come away with all of your picks still next year.
Yeah,
there still is very much you project the Jags to be where they are next year, which is still competing for the division title in this weaker AFC South division. You can sell that pick, which probably projects to be a middle of the round pick.
Yeah.
Next year, go get Shedeur Sanders, and you've set yourself up really nicely with one of the premier, what people consider blue chip prospects of this draft, in a guy like Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty clever, nifty move from Cleveland. Should that be the route they elect to take? But from what we're hearing on Shedeur Sanders' draft stock, they might not have to come up to get him. I mean, obviously, insurance is one thing, making sure that you get him, but sounds like he could be a possibility if they stick and pick as well. So,
yeah, it's super exciting. Logan, we'll go on this one and then we'll go to break as we try to fix some of this sound issues and reset and get ready for the rest of the draft. Logan says, "Is Cam QB2 in the AFC South now?"
Ooh, I would say, that's definitely QB3. I think the conversation is
he hasn't done anything, right?
Him and Trevor Lawrence. I will put it this way. I would probably rather have Cam Ward going into the season than I would rather have Trevor Lawrence at this point.
I think that's fair. I think I would still put C.J. Stroud 1, Trevor Lawrence 2, Cam Ward 3, mostly just because like Cam Ward's done nothing in the NFL, right? I'm not gonna rate him over a guy who's been to the playoffs and had some success, right? Like I think that would be, but I'm still gonna put him above Anthony Richardson because I think Cam Ward not showing anything so far has done more good for him than Anthony Richardson has done in his career.
Agreed.
All right, guys. Well, stick around with us. We'll be back in about 3 minutes here to go through what the Jets will do, what the Panthers will do, and the rest of the back tens of the NFL draft. We're also going to take a look at these sound issues and get right back at you guys. We are here live from the Track 1 building, going through the entirety of the first round with you guys here at the 440 Sports Sinkers Charity Draft Party. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on the Hot Read Podcast live.
The Hot Read Podcast is proudly presented by M.L.Rose Craft Beer and Burgers. With 7 locations across Nashville and an 8th on the way, you're sure to be near the best selection of beers and burgers in the city. From their shareables like the Nashville Hot Cheese Curds to the wide selection of craft burgers and other sandwiches, you simply can't go wrong. Try April's Burger of the Month, the Thick Boy Burger, at any of their 7 locations. Capitol View, Franklin, Gallatin, Melrose 8th Avenue, Mount Juliet, Sylvan Park, and tell them that the Hot Read Podcast sent you.
Welcome back, everybody. Derek's saying we got commercials now. Yeah, we got commercials. I didn't want to just leave like space in between as we need to like refuel, like refresh, go say hi to everybody out there and do what we needed to. Also, I hope I switched mics and I hope that this sounds better now. So if you guys can let me know if this is better or not, that would be great. Richard Dr. Knockers says Cam Ward can't wear denim. It just looks tacky. So maybe not the best of outfit choices.
Is he wearing denim?
No.
I don't know either.
But apparently, I guess he is.
Anybody can wear denim. Is that just the boomer in me coming out? Anybody can wear denim. Touche.
Bridget's saying crazy elevator music. I mean, that's what you get here at the Hot Read Club.
Yeah.
You know, the Hot Read Podcast Club bumping.
By the way, my wife sent me a text message and asked me if I was wearing pants. So
There you are.
apparently it looks like I'm not wearing pants.
Hey, and that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's what we're getting excited for. So while we were gone, the New York Jets stayed chalk and take Armand Membu out of Missouri.
Yeah.
It was really between him and it felt like Tyler Warren. I think a lot of people like Sean O'Brien here in the comments says if he was the Jets, he would have gone Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
I think it fills a need, but Armand Membu is such an interesting prospect because he kind of skyrocketed up to maybe this consensus tackle one.
Yeah.
But when you look at some of the tape, it feels like the play strength is an issue there for him, especially in pass protection and especially on some of the run scheme type of things that Missouri played in their really, really weird offense.
Yeah, so my critique on Membu, his balance seems a little wobbly at times, and he needs to develop a counterpunch to when rushers bat those armpit clampers down. Armpit clampers, he just gets in there and gets you. So it is play strength, JT, but this guy is a smooth, explosive athlete. I mean, he ran a 4.9 140 at 332 pounds. The guy can move, bursty lateral step. He's got really clean jump sets in the run game. Can do a little bit of everything. I have no issue with Membu being one of the first tackles off the board in this draft. It's to me, he's probably the top of the class that probably has the least amount of questions. I think Josh Simmons has better tape at tackle, but obviously there are some medical red flags with him. But with Membu, I think you've got a guy that is a really good athlete. A little on the shorter side. I think he's only 6'4", but I mean, you watch the tape, the guy looks like a tackle, has some versatility. The Jets rebuilding their offensive line, he kind of makes this look like a pretty complete unit. If you look at Olu Fashanu, who they drafted in the first round last year, theoretically, bookend tackles, you've got two really good young pieces there. Yeah. Or if you want to kick Membu inside the guard, you can do that too.
Yeah, I do like having Olu Fashanu and Armand Membu on a line together. Wyatt in the comments here says the shirt lives on, and what are we drinking, boys? Well, the Hot Read Podcast boys here tonight are trying to have their fair share of gin and tonics.
Well, oh boy, well, it's because Joey's pouring them, so Joey's taking care of us, man. Joey's a good bartender.
You switched to a home style IPA, and I'm drinking
ranch water. And ranch water rules them. Not a bad choice at all.
There's a bartender over there at the party, but we went to break, and I said, "Can I just go into the fridge?" And he said, "Do whatever you want." So I just went right behind it.
There you go.
The fridge, and I grabbed what we needed. And
we can do whatever we want. I'm not even wearing pants tonight.
Apparently so. The Panthers pick is in here. They could go a lot of different ways with this one. They could go with Walker. They could go with Nolan. They could go pair Bryce Young with a wide receiver in Pat Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Golden. Like, they could go really any which way as they come up to the podium here. Derek saying it's a no pants party. Logan saying, would you rather have Cam Ward or Kader in the nuts?
That's good. All right, the pick is in for the Panthers. Jalen Walker has been a popular. Oh,
wow! So the Panthers go Ted McMillan.
So my take's off the board that he would fall out of the first round.
Yeah.
I'm expecting.
By the way, we'll bring that up here in a second. We'll bring Jalen over here on the show. Logan and Wyatt, you will be in for a treat. It's very, very exciting for us. So Ted McMillan goes to the Carolina Panthers here.
Stupid.
You heard a little bit of a commotion there in the other room. What did you just call him?
I said it was stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah.
So Ted McMillan hater, which I'm not going to blink at that or anything. That's a fair way to say. But what about him makes it such a bad fit? Maybe here at this high at 8 or for the Panthers.
It's such a risky pick. I mean, opinions are going to vary on this prospect. I don't love the play strength. I think there are a lot of instances on tape where you begged a kid of his size, of his frame, to just body a guy up and win above the rim. I think if you take that New Mexico game out of his resume where he had like over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, set school records in that one, I think if you take that out of his resume, it is a rather mediocre resume. I don't think he has the speed to really separate from people downfield. Todd McShay roasted him earlier this week, saying that he's heard that he only wants to practice hard when the scouts are watching, that sort of thing. There have been questions about his commitment to football, whether or not he loves ball. There's a ton of red flags, but none more important than the tape. And on the tape, it looks like a guy that doesn't know how to use his frame and can't really pull away from good defenders.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think he's a fit-dependent type guy there for the Carolina Panthers. Logan said, I'd lack commitment too if I wasn't there. So,
There you go.
That brings up a question here. Carolina Panthers wide receiver room is now Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, McMillan, and Jalen Coker. That is an interesting wide receiver room.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know what the Panthers were doing, to be honest with you. That was it's interesting that they passed on Jalen Walker, who was linked to the Panthers for quite some time, to build out their receiver room. I mean, the thinking has to be that T-Mac is going to come in and be wide receiver one. Man.
T-Mac, Jalen Coker.
That's just an awfully rich price tag for this particular prospect.
We're trying our best to you guys can keep with us. This is better now, or we just need to well,
they can't hear you at all at this point.
Hello. Let's see if that works. Last year we had shoe pizza. This year we have bad JT audio. Very interesting. I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll keep
right.
trying to fix it here for you guys. Riley says it's hard to hear Josh Gad. Wyatt saying JT bad audio. So I don't know. Why is it just me tonight?
I don't know.
Bridget says that's better.
Is
so maybe
do
better.
I sound
there we go.
okay?
Don't touch anything. Does Stoney sound good?
Do I sound good? Yeah, let me know if I'm coming through.
I think we're good though now. Are we good?
I mean, listen,
That's
sitting here
way better.
talking into a mic, so
I know. You're back stronger than Stoney's shirt seems. Okay, we're gonna go with this for the rest of the show. And we're not gonna touch anything. I'm not gonna do anything. You guys sound like you are underwater. How did I get Olaf on the pod? You guys sound good. You're fine. Everyone's fine apparently.
Everyone's fine. Okay.
I think we're fine.
All right, here we are.
As good as it's gonna get, and I'm sorry that it is not tip-top quality, but we are way better. Like Mason Graham versus DT2. Audio weaker than JT's draft picks. That's my.
Ooh, oh boy, you're getting roasted.
I am. Stoney sounds and looks good. Cool. All right, so we're good.
Oh, thank you for that. I look good too. You didn't have to add that in
Eddie
there.
said that.
Well, I'm not. I'm whoever it is.
Oh.
Thank you. You didn't have to work that in there, but you did, and I appreciate it.
Logan says Stoney's moose knuckle running Wi-Fi interference. Apparently.
Oh, maybe it is. I mean,
maybe it is. It just has that big of a. The Saints pick is in now here.
It's this Shador.
So now is it bad? Is it bad again? Like is this,
well, you moved. They told us not to move.
Bridget said JT's mic having more issues than the Jaguars offer after that terrible pick. I'm gonna hold this here. We need shorter shorts as the weekend goes on. So maybe at the 104.5 show, you just do like a Speedo.
Yeah. This stream's actually going to end with my balls hanging out of these. So
I love it.
Stay tuned, everyone.
So here's where we are now. So basically, it's been pretty tough with the.
It has. I'm surprised.
Mendo going 7.
Everybody acted like it was going to be chaos after 5, and it hasn't been. Kelvin Banks.
Wow. So the Saints go Kelvin Banks, which I think is the first surprise pick of the night.
It came out. It came out earlier this week that Banks was kind of. People were saying, or the insiders were saying that this was a guy who was going to surprise people how high he went. They were hearing top 10 love for this guy. personally, I don't see it. I think Kelvin Banks is a fine offensive lineman, just not top 10 caliber for me.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? It's still, I think, very much a question of does he play tackle or does he play guard. I think with the situation that they have right now in New Orleans, I think you could see him play guard. Although you've had some kind of failed attempts to fix that offensive line for them, so it wouldn't surprise me to see them play him on the left side of the line out wide first, wide being the left tackle position, before they try anything inside.
Yeah. I think I started my eval on Kelvin Banks with the Kansas game from 2023, and that was probably my first mistake because he took on, I don't know if you guys remember from last year's class, Austin Booker, the edge rusher out of Kansas. Austin Booker pretty well ate his lunch in that game, and it just kind of stuck in the back of my head as I was trying to watch his the rest of his 2024 tape. I feel like there's an element of power and drive that is missing from his game. And I feel like there's too many times that he kind of stops his feet and he lunges at the rusher. Still, I think this is a guy that, has the size you look for in an NFL offensive lineman. I think he does flash those instances of, strong hands, foot drive, that sort of thing. So fun guard prospect. It seems a little rich for me.
Yeah, I think so as well. So that means that as we leave the top 10, we have the Bears now on the board.
It's got to be Tyler Warren.
So, but then you also think about what else they could do on the back end.
Well,
they could go Jahdae Barron. They could go Malachi Starks. They could try to supplement that secondary. They could also try to go on the interior of the line. They could go with a Kenneth Grant. We've heard some things that he could be going a lot higher than teams are predicting. It does feel like, however, that the picks are flying by this year.
So if the Bears were rumored all week to want to trade up for Ashton Genty, what's their eval on Amarian Hampton? If they want a bell cow workhorse running back like Genty, I think Hampton's the only other guy in this class that kind of fits from a value perspective as well. Is it too early for them to reach for the North Carolina running back?
At this point, I don't think so, because we talked all along about how the Genty Hampton feels similar to a Robinson Gibbs, maybe not the same type of players. However, from a value standpoint, it feels like we have those two potentially going in the top 15 here. I think you could really see them go anywhere. Tyler Warren, unfortunately, for my dynasty team, who is big in on Cole Kmet, is going to suffer after this, because Tyler Warren does feel like a piece that Ben Johnson takes one look at and really wants to get his hands on. I think that is a fun option in that type of offense for Ben Johnson. You talk about, having it at your disposal Tyler Warren, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Roma Dinze, and then a backfield that contains DeAndre Swift. That's pretty fun to work with. Yeah. However, on the flip side, right, Ben Johnson comes from an offense that really loves to run 1-2 punches with his running backs. And when you look at Amarian Hampton, you see some of those flashes of a Jameer Gibbs with maybe not that top end speed or that ability to get to that top end speed. But I could see a world where Ben Johnson wants to use DeAndre Swift more in his age now, more of the David Montgomery type role, and you have a guy like Amarian Hampton who can come in and play that more Jameer Gibbs role.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pick is in.
Krista says, so let me see. Derek says, that chick is hot. Krista says, Derek, stay away from my wife. Logan's saying, easy, Derek, down, boy. JT, can you sit closer to Stoney and share a mic? Man, this is crazy.
What? There's something going through with just your feed. Yeah. So they're saying that I sound okay.
Apparently.
Has anybody complained about my sound at all night?
No.
Huh.
But it's been my sound the entire time.
Well, yours and Braden's, right?
Yes.
It is weird.
gonna try this. I'm gonna try the cord after we hear.
I was about to say it must be the cord. Shout out to Mongo McMichael, one of the best wrestling action figures of all time.
You can talk to them. Oh, see, then people tell me my audio is fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
Weird. I don't like it. Got very, very quiet.
There's a hush. Is there a moment of silence?
I think they're doing a moment of silence.
Wow. I was talking through it.
I'm in and out. Okay.
So JT has taken this opportunity to change out the cord, the mic cable. One-man show. You can do this like the good old days. I used to do one-man shows all the time. Not for the Hot Read podcast, obviously. That would have been weird, but for Bros Network, the various projects that are there. I think if I'm the Chicago Bears, I feel like we've done a good job of entertaining all possibilities here. But if I'm the Chicago Bears, that's great. We got to see the hole in the elbow on the shirt. Colston Lovelin. What? Whoa. Oh, see, that's spicy.
Okay, now this is the official hardware we use for the Hot Read podcast. So now if this is bad, I
think I just ruined the pick for everybody in the party room because I forget that we're
Colston
ahead.
Audio like an Obama phone is wild.
Oh man.
Colston Lovelin going before Tyler Warren is we've heard rumblings this week from like a lot of draft analysis and draft experts.
Yeah.
Is that on the board, Jacob? Is that on there? Oh, he is. Okay, hold on. Can you come over here and show the people? So Jacob's saying one of the horsemen of the Hot Repocalypse, which, by the way, am I? Okay. I think people can hear me now.
You're lighting up. You're lighting up.
Audio's so much better. That's great.
Okay,
Jacob
good.
took our take purge and made it into a board, like with all of our takes, and he put them here, and he is keeping track of our take purge takes.
So I've already missed on Ted McMillan falling out of the first round.
So we're going to put a big X through the Ted McMillan. We thank Jacob for doing that for us. That was so awesome. We're going to have you come back in throughout the night and like check off some of these picks. Why it says JT Audio Goodwear, Cider Boy, probably at home. Whatever. Audio is so much better. Picks are flying through.
Yeah,
everyone
first
wants
round.
me to block Riley in the comments.
Who is Riley? We don't see. Do we even see Riley? I don't see Riley.
I don't see. Stoney is the GOAT. Now we can hear JT. JT's in and out. I think we're good.
Thank you. Whoever said I'm the GOAT.
I hope we're good now. Stoney thought T-Mac was going to be a UDFA.
Yes. I said don't draft him at all.
Here's the thing. Colston Lovelin going before Tyler Warren is very interesting because I've heard over the past week and a half that there are some people in the circles that believe that 2024 performance and how he was used in the Penn State offense was a fluke.
Yeah.
And that from just a basic tight end perspective of playing the position at the NFL level, there were some teams who did not believe that he was this generational tight end prospect that some people are making him out to be. And you look at Colston Lovelin, who I think honestly just is a better Cole Kmet, especially for like Colston Lovelin plays the position very similarly to a Sam Laporta, who Ben Johnson loved having in Detroit. And I see the fit. I get it.
So conversely to the opinion that Tyler Warren is not really this generational tight end is the opinion that Colston Lovelin was kind of underutilized in the Michigan offense, that maybe his strengths didn't really shine the way that they used him. I get that. I'm a fan of Tyler Warren. I like him quite a bit. I think he's a pretty versatile tight end. But for Colston Lovelin, I think he was kind of miscast by a lot of people as just an athletic guy that can catch passes, that, you know, they didn't throw the ball to him enough. He wasn't running enough different routes, that sort of thing. Kind of weaker as a blocker. But It's not what I saw on tape. I did see some untapped potential as a receiver, but I think the way that they used him as a blocker, he was effective. I think he had decent form. The power, the drive was not necessarily there. He does have a little bit of a lighter frame than what you look for out of a guy to be like a primarily inline blocking tight end. But this is a guy that does still have a lot of untapped potential that clearly Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears, looked at and said, we can harness this out of this guy. And to your point, maybe they're thinking like we just got our Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I think there's no question about you see the comparables there between a guy like Lovelin and what Sam Laporta did for that offense and what he can do now for the Chicago Bears. So we're starting to get a little bit off the rails. Like maybe this is now the downturn into like, we're going over the hump. We went chalk. Kelvin Banks, Pat McMillan, Colston, Lovelin going before Tyler Warner. And now we could go anywhere, I think, because like Logan says, what does Dallas reach for? Does Dallas end up going Josh Simmons? I know area never him. Like there's still also edges are like Colston, Lovelin going here, Kelvin Banks here. We're starting to push the edge position down the board.
I mean,
and if you're watching it for the Titans,
35,
which I think. What Christopher says seems like we're coasting. He seemed to be the one that was thinking my mic was the worst. So I hope everything is better now.
Yeah, let us know.
It certainly seems like now the Colts are going to get Tyler Warner. Or
that's going to be.
He could be the pick there.
That's going to be wild. It looks like the 49ers pick is in as well. So we'll see.
Do you think they go tackle here?
So,
do you think Simmons?
I've heard that they really like Gray Zabel. That's been a popular thing too. This would be super early for Gray Zabel, but I mean that you want to talk about going off the rails. The 49ers take Gray Zabel at this spot. I think that would do it.
I do think also Christopher has a point here. Like as much as we wanted to talk about Cam, the Jags absolutely stole the thunder by trading up that massive package. Yeah. Titans fans may really like having Cam Ward, but like if I told you that the Jags come away with Travis Hunter in this draft, the Colts come away with Tyler Warren, and say the Texans come away with a Matthew Golden or a Emeka Egbuka, it puts a little bit of a dampen into the Titans haul on day one.
One of those things that'll be in the back of our minds as we go throughout the summer. To answer your question about Dallas, they were rumored to have been in on Ted McMillan pretty heavily. So you wonder, there's also been some rumors out there that they're in on Matthew Golden, that they are looking offensive line.
Hampton.
I mean, how it's kind of wild that Abdul Carter is the only edge rusher off the board at this point. And yet we've already seen Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks both go.
So apparently in Kelvin Banks, when they showed him on the when they showed him getting the call, the person next to him, the person next to him was holding a baby. The baby threw up in the
that's so awesome
on the camera.
That's so awesome.
Looks like the Jags just rained on the Titans parade, storming up to number 2, feeling their thunder, kind of pisses you off. I mean, when you think certainly about having to play him now, that's going to be such an interesting way of how they go up against him twice a year.
At least they're playing him at corner. Oh, here's the 49ers selection.
49ers
I don't want to spoil it for the room next door. So I'm going to react perfectly normally and calmly to whatever name is unveiled.
Do you imagine?
Oh, my God.
I do agree, though, Wyatt. The Jags did lose on that trade.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the price you pay when you get the
when
you come up to get a generational prospect like that.
I watched the video.
Go at the edge position here and take Michael Williams out of Georgia. I'm trying to say it a little better so that they but I think also
that video of the baby throwing up is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, isn't it funny?
That rules.
Like, that is such a good video. I think it's a perfect perfectly normal pick here for the 49ers to go.
They've
Michael Williams.
Yeah, a lot of edge, a lot of defensive tackle, defensive front. It's kind of been a predominant feeling leading up to this event that they would look to bolster their front seven. This is a move that does that. And there's our second edge rusher off the board, Michael Williams. Surprised he went over Jalen Walker.
No, because I think when you're talking about edge position alone, Michael Williams is more of a true edge rusher. Jalen Walker is more of a guy at the next level who could be a linebacker, could be an edge rusher type player. Listen, if Jalen Walker wants to fall all the way to 25, now we're talking about like 25, 26. Now we're talking about a player that I would trade up for in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
like, that's the type of player that if you're the Titans and you want to come back up into this first round to grab a player, Jalen Walker's that guy. I also had someone tell me at the combine that they believed the gap between Abdul Carter and Michael Williams was smaller than the gap between Michael Williams and the next edge.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, like, teams seem to really, really like Michael Williams and what he can do.
Well, I mean, he's a bursty guy. I mean, you look at the traits, you see him on tape. Dude looks explosive. He moves smoothly. Even has a bit of range to his game. Georgia didn't have any qualms with dropping him into the flat to cover running backs. Can cross inside like he's teleporting. The physical traits are a plus. He has length for days, arms that seem to never end. And, I mean, he could stand to fill out his frame a little bit, add a little element of power and drive sustain to his game. But I think this is a guy that can get after quarterbacks. And now the damn Cowboys pick is already in too. We are flying through this first round.
We are flying through this first round. Apparently this pick is
bonkers.
This, like, as Kenneth says, the LOL Cowboys. There are people going crazy online about this pick.
Well, I'm not going to look in the chat. Let's see.
The Dallas Cowboys are selecting.
Oh boy! You see now I'm waiting with bated breath. Horrible podcasting, I know, but my God, I can't wait. Oh, there we go.
Tyler Booker.
Hey, listen, if you want to get just a load of a human being that's going to put somebody in the dirt, Tyler Booker's your guy. I mean, who cares about his 3-point whatever RAS score? Who cares if he can't move?
He takes up enough.
Oh, we just heard the groan from
the other side of the room. There,
a bit of a surprise there.
Tyler Booker,
good take though.
Who they've been linked to this time, that is an absolutely hilarious Jerry Jones. When you consider the hype that they've been building, the potential trades that they have, their want for offensive weapons, like taking Tyler Booker there, like, and passing it. For Cowboys fans, you pass on that, like Matthew Golden, you pass on Amari Hampton, you pass on Tyler Warren. I think Tyler Warren could be a fine starting guard for the next 5-10 years, and I get that the Cowboys love to build through the trenches. But when you're talking about a team that wants to win now, Tyler Booker doesn't get you any closer when you only have Dak and CeeDee Lamb as your main 1-2 punch on offense.
I mean, you think about what the Dallas Cowboys have done for so many years recently. It's been predicated on offensive line play. They, at one point, not too far in the distant past, they had one of the best offensive lines in football. It seems like they've been trying to get back to that spot. I'll read a little bit of my eval on Booker.
You know where you had him on your big board?
Where he was on my big board, I mean, he was a first rounder, but he was in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Some evals are easy and clean. Some players make it clear what they excel at and what their weaknesses are, and Booker is one of those guys. You're not going to draft him to dance with speedy edge rushers. You're drafting him to straight up move people. This is a thick set dude. I mean, big, thick-ass road grading guard is what he is. Like, he is going to drive and move people. Not the twitchiest guy. Obviously, that showed up in the testing. But for a team that wants to just line up and run the football with power, I think he's a pretty damn good guard prospect.
Coach Wilson, damn effing word, fellas. Had to leave Pat McAfee. Cam wasn't getting enough love. Happy Cam Ward Day.
Happy Cam Ward
Day to you too. We'll raise a toast and we'll raise a glass here to you, Coach Wills. Thank you for being here, and thank you to all of you for being here. Reminder: if you are joining the content tonight, here we are live from the 440 Sports Sinkers Beverages Draft Charity Watch Party, supporting the OurKids Foundation. There's 25 to 30 some odd people over there. All you can eat, all you can drink, having a great time watching the first round of the draft. Us degenerates are over here in the other room, drinking by ourselves, talking ball. Having a good time still, trying to get over there and say hi to people when we can. However, yes, Cam Ward's the pick. Here's the conversation, though. Like, I don't mean to rain on people's parades, but, like, if the Dolphins don't go Tyler Warren here, there's still an opportunity here for the AFC South to, like, Cam Ward, yeah, you got him. Jags get Travis Hunter. Colts get Tyler Warren.
That's going to be a little
the Texans add another weapon as these wide receivers fall. Like, there's opportunity here for the rest of the AFC South to show them up and steal their thunder. I'm not taking anything away from Cam, because I think there's also an opposite reality here where Tyler Booker wasn't a consensus top 32 player, or like a fringe top 32 consensus player, right? We still haven't seen any corners come off the board. Tyler Warren still hasn't come off the board. Like, we're starting to see some of these edge and wide receivers, especially if you see the Cowboys with Tyler Booker over Matt Golden, over some of these wide receivers.
Well, and
it seems like they're getting pushed down.
There was a little bit of rumbling out there that the Dolphins were in on Tyler Booker as well.
Tyler Warren.
No, Tyler Booker. Yeah. So the Cowboys probably felt like, hey, if we want to get the guard, we've got to get him in this spot, stick and pick him. I am surprised that they passed on Matthew Golden in that spot. I'll say this about Cam Ward. I think there's another layer to the conversation we're having tonight, and maybe it's that it just became so apparent that Cam Ward was going to be the pick for the Titans that a lot of what there was to say about the marriage between the Titans and Cam Ward was already said
for us,
was already said into the lead up of the draft tonight, and then for there to be such a blockbuster trade right there at the second spot, it wasn't like there was time to breathe, to let things marinate a little bit. It was right then and there. There's a trade for two, and it's Travis Hunter, who on most big boards is the number one player in this draft. A huge shakeup at the top of the draft. The timing to me is probably what did it more than anything else. But happy to talk Cam Ward if people still want us to talk
people want to talk Cam Ward. We can definitely talk Cam Ward. Derek says you can't steal the thunder of the team that got their franchise quarterback. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And I think that's the question.
Yeah.
Is he the franchise guy? And we're going, like I said, on the 440 show. If you want to go watch our live in-person gut reactions to what we did, that's already live over on the 440 Sports YouTube channel. That's what we just did right before we got on live here. We're going to enter another honeymoon period, right?
Like, yeah, for sure.
I do think that this next year could be really good. It could be catching lightning in a bottle from the start. Like, he could gel really, really well. I do think that now that he is a Tennessee Titan, we need to start understanding the player and diving deeper into what makes what his makeup is, talking to coaches, talking to Nick Holtz, talking to all these people in the building, and like seeing this plan unfold. I think that's the first option. The first real look we're going to get is in a couple weeks, a week and a half, when we have rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be really exciting. Like, I don't think it's going to be, guns a-blazing. Cam Ward is a top 10 quarterback from the start. Like, I think this is a work in progress. And now,
I do too.
As much as we want to talk about Cam Ward and how great he could be, the question now is, how can we get Cam Ward to be great faster? And that's where the rest of this draft becomes so important for the Titans.
Yes, absolutely. You want to see him add another weapon to build around. Excuse me. I am most curious to see how Cam Ward carries himself as the de facto leader of this team, because something that you and I and Braden were even talking about earlier tonight is like the tape is the tape. We know what kind of player Cam Ward is. We've watched the Miami offense. We've seen his strengths. We've seen his weaknesses. But what we haven't been able to gather for ourselves how he carries himself as a professional. He's going to come into this situation, and he's going to be thrust into a leadership role. You're not drafted number 1 overall to sit. And Brian Callahan has said that throughout the process. Don't expect Cam Ward to sit. I expect he'll be the guy week 1. I don't know if that's best for Cam Ward. I mean, I do think he's a guy that could probably stand to sit for a little bit. Don't think he's going to be afforded that luxury. But what I want to see with rookie mini camps coming up in just a few weeks, like you guys were talking about earlier, how quickly does he really assert himself? There we go. All right. Kenneth Grant.
Miami goes.
Here
Kenneth
we go.
Grant here.
Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear.
Where is Kenneth Grant on your big board?
I'm super high on Kenneth Grant. I have him 25th.
25th.
Still reach, but
yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm good with it. But like,
certainly is exciting.
Yeah, to wrap up my thought on Cam Ward, sorry, I get excited about the big meaty men going. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Cam can step into a leadership role with this Titans organization, because if it goes smoothly and if he is, this alpha dog that we hear that he is, can he really get in there, take command of this offense, take command of the passing game, and really, give this thing a shot in the arm? Like, how quickly can we get to that point? That, to me, is what's going to be so fascinating to watch throughout the summer.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. Logan with a big brain play. Do you think Shamar Sanders at 35 and have a TV battle?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Let's bring up a good point in the comments here. If I go back and I look for it, the real work for the Titans starts now. What do you do with Levis? How do you surround Cam?
Oh boy.
The one question that is still out there is, what do you do with Levis? And we talked a little bit about this with some people here at the Sinkers 440 charity draft party. It's very interesting, right? Because I think that you could still probably throw an offer for Will Levis. Like, there's probably offers out there that, like, Will Levis for a fifth straight up. That could be out there. Does that mean you should do it? I don't think so. Like, until you get the offer that makes the most sense for what the player is worth. I do think that he's worth more than a fifth straight up. He's a project.
Oh boy,
doesn't work, but they could be fun to fix.
I'm at a point where I think they should just take what they can get for him. I feel like it's going to be. I mean, it's just going to hang on this franchise, this offense, like an anchor, for Will Levis to go out there like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs to back up Cam Ward throughout the summer. Like, it's not a positive dynamic for anybody. So I think if you can move him for capital at all, you pull the trigger on that. The Colts pick is in, by the way. Are they going to get Tyler Warren?
They definitely are.
Is this like? Oh boy, could they take Shedeur Sanders here?
That'd be wild.
That would be a wild quarterback for him. Yeah.
I mean, John Boy here says Warren's with the Colts. And
yeah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, and John Boy, like, I think if Emeka Egbuka is there at 25 for the Texans, there's no way they pass him up. Like,
I mean, even Matthew Golden would be a good pick.
Either one. Like, as much as I want to celebrate Cam, like, the AFC South is not going away that easy. It's not the Titans to lose now by any stretch of imagination. I saw a text in our group chat. Like, Warren should scare the hell out of the Titans. And certainly that line.
Well, they haven't. I was just about to say, it's not like they have the sturdiest linebacking core to stop this guy.
Yeah, this was the pick all along. He fell there to them. I mean,
you look at this guy, big body, length, good movement. The way Penn State used him, it was one of those offenses that you watch. I kind of equated it to the San Francisco 49ers offense. Like, in the sense that you watch it and you have no idea who Kyle Juszczyk is on the surface. But then if you like go flip through the 49ers playbook and like really watch the all 22, you realize, oh my God, 44 is incredibly important to the success of this entire unit. Tyler Warren was the same way. Everybody, I don't know what's happening. Everybody's cheering. Tyler Warren was the same way for that Penn State offense. They used him all over the place. In line as a blocker, up the seam, mover, out wide as a receiver, in the backfield as a running back. I don't know what you call the wildcat when you snap directly to the tight end, but they would snap the ball directly to Tyler Warren for him to throw it. This guy is a Swiss Army knife. He's one of the best players in this draft, and I think he's an absolute steal for the Colts at this spot. If I'm a Colts fan tonight, I'm doing cartwheels.
Yeah, I mean, it was inevitable all along, right? And
I think they're having a meeting, a seminar in there in the other room. Should we be quiet? I don't know what's happening.
Ryan got something. But
did they give away the booze bag?
So.
Giving away the booze bag in there? Who won it? Oh, congrats. Congrats to Aaron.
Right. Really?
Whoa.
7.
Wow.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
We got close. We tried our best.
We tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah, who's going to be – the Colts got their new quarterback, I guess, Tyler Warren,
the
quarterback if they wanted him to.
Yeah, that's it. I think he's going to be he's going to do some work there with Shane Steichen.
I think he's a perfect fit for what Shane Steichen wants to. John Boy, this is true, right? Kenneth Grant goes. Tyler Warren goes. I mean, you talk about the edges that are still on the board. Shamar Stewart, Jalen Walker, Mike
Well,
Green.
I mean, like the Falcons who need an edge rusher could just like stumble into Jalen Walker at this point.
Like I would not be surprised at all if this pick right here was Jalen Walker, which would just be a home run for them because I mean they need defensive players in general. But once again, like you could probably if Jalen Walker isn't the pick here, and you get past if you get past the Falcons and you got past like the Bucks, and Jalen Walker's still there. I don't know. Give me one more gin and tonic. I'll start pounding the table for the Titans to move up here and take Jalen Walker. Like, I could do that. Derek says, settle down in there. They're having fun because it's a good time here at the 440 Sports Sinkers Beverages.
It is.
Charity draft party supporting the OurKids Foundation for the kids. Excited that you guys are all here too. Yeah, like Will Johnson's still on the board. Rodney Barron, Malachi Starks.
So there are some pretty troubling reports out there about Will Johnson's knee. They think that there are some people that say that it might be a degenerative issue. Maybe it's the hip. I can't remember what the issue is with Will Johnson. But the concern is that the injury is not something that he's just going to be able to easily recover from, but that it could actually be a degenerative issue that's only going to get worse with time. The man of the hour's in here. He just walked in and walked back out.
He walked in. He got very.
What are we going on? Oh, are you going to try and poke my moose knuckle again?
Take that out of context.
We got to.
That'd be quite funny. We're having a good time here.
Oh my God.
I think Braden took Blind Joe's
walking stick. I think Braden took a blind man's walking stick.
Hey, we're having fun here at the Sinkers Beverages 440 charity watch party. Yeah, it's always a good time here. Jalen Walker goes here. Like, who do you have? You have Atlanta, you have Arizona, you have Cincinnati.
I was about to say, weren't the Bengals?
There could be a very big run on edges here. However, I can also see Jahad Campbell go here to the Falcons, even though he may start on the pup list.
There's I was about to say there's some injury concern with him as well. A guy that I think had top 10 caliber tape in this class. So it's crazy, man. Like this really does kind of feel like things have picked up a notch. Things have kind of gotten off the rails a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here's Joe.
You're in trouble, Braden. Logan in the comments here says Braden being blind explains the Cam Ward hype tonight.
Joe's about to walk right into our equipment. Bring the whole string down.
Sir, do you need a GNT?
I'm good. I am.
You know
good,
what, Joe? I
I
would love a GNT.
Well, if JT's gonna have one, I'll have another one.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Sounds
I was trying to slow down a little bit, but we still got half the first round to go. Braden, did you give Joe his stick back? Okay.
What are you looking for?
We can report that Blind Joe has his stick back.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for
biggest surprise for the rest of the draft.
That Aaron here at the Sinkers Shocking News draft party got the first 7 picks correct.
That's insane.
I mean, we did talk about how that was kind of chalk.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
7 picks correct. You want a big bag of booze from Sinkers Beverages. Congrats, Aaron.
Sinkers Beverages. Go to Sinkers Beverages.
Jalen Walker is looking at his phone. But he's not on the phone.
He's not on his phone. We're starting to phone watch people.
Oh,
certainly
boy.
on the ESPN.
Oh, boy.
Notable quarterback slides. The Moose Knuckle podcast is legit. We appreciate you being here, John Boy, for the Moose Knuckle Live.
The Moose Knuckle Live. Here we are.
Logan says his draft pool had a guy go 8 for 8. Listen, I didn't do a draft pool this year because, simply put, I had no idea what was going to go on. So maybe that's a shame on me because we said it was chalk. I should have just, been a man. And I probably should have just, actually did what I supposed to, and I could have walked away here with a big bag of blues from Sinkers Beverages. However,
I think I just heard my name in there. I don't know what they're saying about me.
But and look at this. We are arriving.
Here we go. Well, thank you very much.
And
thank you very much.
We're back in action here, I guess.
Oh sure. Yeah, of course. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We will tip our waitress.
I'm going to burp. I shouldn't have taken that big of a sip.
Well,
I tried to finish it because he was offering to take away our empties, and I didn't want to just leave this one sitting. So I tried to, and I got. I mean, listen. I can't open my throat like I used to could.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys being here tonight, sitting with us and watching the rest of the draft. Appreciate you guys watching on Twitter or Facebook, or all of you around here in B440 Sports YouTube chat. Hope you guys are having a drink with us and celebrating the first round of the NFL draft. Right here, provided by Sinkers and Shotgun Willies, and of course, M.L.Rose, our lovely sponsor of the Hot Read podcast every week. Reminder that we will be live again tomorrow, not in person, but virtually, doing the same exact thing here. Talking ball. Weekend. We'll have, hopefully, we'll be able to use our video clips tomorrow.
I was going to ask if you want to try playing one again, just to see. I don't know.
We can try it as the Falcons are putting.
Here's the pick.
Putting their pick up. Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy, stupid value. Stupid value to get Jalen Walker.
So Jalen Walker goes there. Derek says he'll be here all weekend. My new job doesn't start until Wednesday. We're saying the draft almost halfway over. It's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. I mean, this is
going very, very fast.
This has been a pretty long night in years past.
John Boy says, who else's wife is super confused and annoyed at the same time? That's fair.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker going there. Crazy value. Perfect fit for them. Do we start to see a run on edges here?
Maybe.
I think you could see. Now here's the thing. Arizona could also go Matthew Golden here.
Yeah.
And make a pretty dynamic wide receiver room.
I mean, you think you've got Mike Green, you've got Shamar Stewart still on the board, Donovan Ezeraku.
Push
him. I think if you're a fan of the Titans, you want an edge rusher at 35. You probably don't like seeing what's happening at this point.
Yeah, I agree. One boy says Rome to ATL. Chrome. Benson? That'd be crazy.
I don't know.
But, Cardinals are on the clock here. Are you good? You need a break?
I'm good.
No bathroom break?
I'm gonna keep talking until you tell me to stop.
All right. Well, I guess we'll keep going. We'll go through this bit. then we'll figure it out after that. But Eddie said, "You're a Morgan Wallen fan. I stand by poor decision maker observation."
Hey, listen, I'm kind of with Eddie on that. I don't. Oof, not a fan.
But that's okay. Get back to God's country, which at this point in time is the
Yeah,
Seekers
touche.
440 charity walk party. Using Facebook again, I'm here. Hello, Stoney. You can take a look at your big board here.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna get Jacob. Do you want to come on the podcast? You want to come on the podcast?
I think we have some of the horsemen in the chat.
Some of the horsemen were calling for you to be on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give
Just
you
say hey.
the mic and we go to the bathroom.
All right, here we go. Jacob, welcome into the Hot Read Podcast. How are you feeling tonight? How are you enjoying the party so far? Yeah. You got the Shotgun Willie's barbecue. We've got the open bar courtesy of Sinker's Beverage. Sinker's Beverage, the one beverage they have. That's right. Not Sinker's Beverages. That was my mistake. What are you feeling right now? The Titans have selected Cam Ward.
It would have been shock and panic otherwise.
Yeah. So we were kind of talking about in the room before the pick went live. Was like, what's the mood going to be if they say literally any other name than Cam Ward? And I think it would have greatly changed the trajectory of the night. Oh, Joe's back in here. Joe, do you have? Hang on a second. I'm going to put the microphone right in front of you, Joe. Can you?
M.L.Rose
I just want to talk about how great M.L.Rose is, guys. If you can go to Uber Eats and they will bring you these delicious loaded up waffle fries that have all this meat and cheese and goodness over top of these, and they'll bring it right to your door. So you can go to one of, I believe, 6 locations coming soon in East Nashville. And they have the burger of the month. What is that?
It's the Thick Boy Burger.
Oh, yeah, that one's yum. And then they have lots of great beers on tap. But definitely go big on the loaded up waffle fries. Deliciousness. Also, 5 stars to the Hot Read Pod. Fabulous with the greatest host, the most beautiful host, Stoney Keeley, and just terrific JT Ruhnke.
Thank you very much, Joe. Joe's doing our job for us tonight, making sure that we shout out M.L.Rose. Fantastic job there. All right, so Jacob, where were we? I'm sorry, I've had a yeah.
I think what a lot of people wanted to see from this first round was just how it would play out to affect the Titans.
Yeah.
Where their leverage would be at 35.
Yeah. So JT's been on this idea that it's the AFC South is kind of stealing the Titans' thunder tonight because the Jags trade up for Travis Hunter. The Colts just get a steal with Tyler Warren.
Right.
Now you're looking at one of these receivers, Emeka Egbuka, Matthew Golden, that could slide to the Texans. How are you feeling about what the rest of the AFC South has done tonight as a Titans fan? Is it raining on your parade at all?
Well, let's look at it this way. The Jaguars paid a lot.
That's true.
The Browns had 33 36.
Yeah.
So the Browns will have a second round pick and a first round next year. So I hope Travis Hunter for him, but I'm not sure. They have to play him, right?
Yeah.
And then when you look at the Colts, who's going to throw it to Tyler Warren?
Hey, we didn't think about that, JT. We didn't think about that.
So we got to wait and see with that.
Walter Nolan to the Cardinals. Wow. Okay. So my thing is, I kind of feel like it's already a Jags L because they've come out and said they're going to play Hunter at cornerback instead of wide receiver. Yeah. So I think Travis Hunter is the best corner in this class. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's kind of a fumble to not play him at wide receiver. So
my theory was Hunter is that the fantasy injury.
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you. Yes. Yes.
balance.
I'm glad you said that because I try to tell people all the time, you cannot prove that Bigfoot does not exist. You cannot prove the negative that something does not exist. So that's great. I just heard my name again. I don't know what they're.
Oh, no. What am I doing? The middle part. The middle part like this.
There we go. Okay. Gotcha. So one last question, Jacob.
Sorry, guys. I'm learning here.
What inspired you to make the Take Purge big board that we have?
That is such a good question. I would say it was the idea that you guys make these purge takes and have a laugh and act like you really believe what you were saying.
Yeah. And
you
it's
really did. So.
Oh yeah, no, I make no bones about it. I believe I misunderstood the assignment. I thought it was like I didn't realize it was like silly stuff. I genuinely meant the things that I said, which looks stupid now that Ted McMillan went 8th to the Carolina Panthers.
I want to hold you guys accountable. Just some old.
I appreciate that. I love
arts
it.
And crafts going
I love
on
it.
Here. The internet comes and goes, but this will last forever.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy that throughout the weekend.
Well, that means a lot, man. That's awesome.
Terrible things.
There we go. JT's trying to get it set up, but I don't know what's happening over there.
I'll give you guys the Sharpies if you need it. So you have the green.
Oh, we should. We should. Yeah. How are we doing, JT? Yeah. Could people hear Jacob? Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I couldn't see the comments, so the Chris Johnson signed helmet is in the way, which we haven't even talked about tonight. There's a Tennessee Titans helmet signed by Chris Johnson on the table in front of us. Fantastic. Not me. I love this place too much. Been here for 3 years now.
You like the old school white helmet?
You know, I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I actually like the dark blue helmets.
Mm-hmm.
It's been long enough at this point because it was 2018 when they made the switch. It's been long enough at this point that I see those and I'm like, oh, I wish they'd wear those like once a year or something. But it doesn't.
I get that.
It doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. I would be cool with them going back to those uniforms, like the old, like the dark blue jerseys with the white pants and the white helmets. Just do that once a year. I think that would look pretty slick.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I will say the all navy head to toe is a strong look.
Yeah,
it feels very Derrick Henry-esque.
It does. Yeah, it feels powerful. Have we missed picks? I've just been talking to Jacob and not even paying attention.
Yes, sir.
Walter Nolan.
Back off to the experts here.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you for coming on the show, Jacob.
Yeah.
I was just gonna let him go. I was like, I can come back.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
We were doing great.
Let me take that helmet off your head. Hands. Let me get that. Yeah. Who's going to be the drunk one that tries to steal that tonight from Braden?
Ain't me.
It's at Braden's house. If you find his address, you can probably find it. I don't know.
Okay. Do we want to give out Braden's address on the broadcast tonight?
I don't know. Maybe we could get Braden to give it out.
Shout out to Jacob, by the way. He just walked in here, sat down in the chair, and we podcasted. I don't know if people could hear him. I have
no idea. I go back in the comments here and let me look real quick. It goes. Wyatt says alarm bells. Mike is missing audio again. JT needs to sit in Stoney's lap for the remainder of the pod. Ian says, what in the terrible mic is going on here? Damn, that mic is awful. Good thing we can read lips. Y'all have to share a mic.
Maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah. Maybe I think that was what it was. And then once I told him to put it here instead of here. When I put it here,
that could have done
it's a directional mic. So, it's.
Yeah.
Derek says, give me the address. I'll get it. Bengals are on the clock here. It feels like it's edge rusher, right?
Says the pick is in.
I don't think it could go
I personally think Walter Nolan was a reach right there. I know some people liked him.
There's some people that
in the
thought Walter
top 10.
Nolan is a top 10 pick. Like,
I just, man, all of these Ole Miss guys are just so inconsistent on the tape.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was another one as well that really flashed good hand usage, good speed, pass rush potential as a true, like, 3-tech. I mean, I kind of made jokes about him being like, he's going to be this class's next Aaron Donald because of his size. Good player, but man, just really inconsistent. And here comes the Bengals
pick is coming in, which, yeah, I feel like it has to be edge rusher here for them. They have to get better at edge. And if it was me, I'd go Mike Green. I think he fits well into what they want to do. Obviously, they don't have Lou Anarumo anymore. They don't have Big Lou anymore. If free edge go in the next 5 picks, that I would not blink twice at that. If we see a run on edge,
it's what looks like we're shaping up for here.
Now, yeah, here's the thing. Like, Seahawks could also go Gray Zabel. They could help the offensive line. Josh Simmons is also lurking out there as well as Ooh.
Oh boy.
Ew.
Oh, there you go.
Cincinnati Bengals take Shamar Stewart.
Well,
that's a pick. To quote Mike Morganti, Shamar Stewart is a player that was picked.
Listen, at least that means the Titans won't pick him at 35.
This is true. Shamar Stewart, no production, has the crazy intangibles, has the length, has the size.
10 out of 10 RAS.
This is a guy who's an athletic freak, but has no production for it. And I think the big question is for Shamar Stewart, for Nick Sporton, for all those guys on the Texas A&M team, was that a product of the defense they run, or is it truly just Shamar Stewart? Like,
man,
Shamar Stewart cannot get after the quarterback. And I think we'll go back to the to finish up here, go back to the Moneyball. If he's a good edge rusher, why doesn't he edge good? I messed that up, and that should not be taken out of context. Don't clip that.
We don't know how he edges. To be fair, we don't know.
That is true. We don't know how he edges.
I watch Shamar Stewart, and I see the freakish traits. Right, like there's no doubt about it. The guy is an athlete. The guy is explosive. Why is he just a power and leverage guy on tape? Like, there's so many times that I watched him and I felt like he got just close enough to create a pressure, create a sack. People cite Mike Elko's defense and they're like, oh, well, you can't hold that against him. But I don't think Mike Elko's defense causes you to almost sack the quarterback, to almost pressure the quarterback. Like, those are still what you want to strive for. And it felt like he just couldn't finish. There were so many instances where he almost made a play on tape that I don't know, man. Given like the freak athlete that he is, maybe this is an appropriate range for him, but it's not the player I would have taken at this point. I think Ezraku, I think Mike Green certainly are both more polished, well-rounded pass rushers. Maybe they don't have the size, the athleticism that Shamar Stewart does, but I see the vision, but I don't see the production.
Yeah, I agree here. Now listen, Christopheros says it best, to quote Draft Day, looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
Here we go.
I think
there we go.
Way to put it up. And you look at the rest of how this draft is going to shake up. You have Seattle, you have Tampa Bay, and then you get to that really juicy area of Denver.
It's going to be fun.
Los Angeles, and Pittsburgh. And I think that's where we could start to see this thing really get off the rails. We could start to see some guys reach. I think that was a total Bungles moment. I would have taken I would have taken Mike Green over him. I would have taken Ezra.
I would too.
I will say,
what about Gray Zabel? Because there was some buzz that the Bengals were kind of in on Gray Zabel at one point too.
I think they were held by gunpoint at Joe Burrow saying, "You signed T, you signed Jamar, now go get me a defense." And that probably was what happened because Joe Burrow is a psychopath. However, I think we're going to get very, very wild here. Seahawks could go wide receiver. They could also go defense. They could go Gray Zabel. They could go on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Like, they need a lot of help. Listen, let's go to break. Let's come back. Let's regroup. Let's prepare for the madness that's going to happen here. We'll be right back. We are here live at the Track 1 building at the 440 Sinkers Beverages Charity Draft Party. We're going to go say hi to some of the great folks out there and come back for the rest of this draft because it's about to get really, really wild. And we're going to see what the Titans might have at their disposal at 35. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Sinkers Beverages is your one-stop shop for all your beer, wine, and spirit needs. Located in East Nashville, Sinkers Beverages has been serving the local community for over 40 years. A 4-time Best of Nashville Liquor Store of the Year, Sinkers Beverages has anything and everything you need for any occasion. Sign up for the in-crowd to get access to allocated wines and spirits, exclusive events, and early access to barrel releases and more. Shop Sinkers at sinkersbeverages.com. and tell them the Hot Read Podcast sent you. Welcome back. We are back, and we have brought in another horseman of the Hot Read Apocalypse, Paul Bakke here. Enjoy you guys staying there for throughout that ad. I'm glad you guys could have fun with it as well. But we're here with Paul, fellow Titans fan. Paul, first of all, happy Cam Ward Day.
Yes.
It has finally arrived. Your thoughts on
I ordered a Washington State Cam Ward jersey.
Did you really?
And it did not come in. I was going to wear it today, but maybe I'll wear it next year to one of the games.
Well, there you go.
I'm excited.
The hype is building for him. Your thoughts on?
I know that Logan loves Cam Ward and Stoney. Both of them are haters. But I'm excited about Cam Ward because I think the difference between him and the rest of the quarterbacks is the ability to get the ball out lightning quick. The processing and the quickness and the velocity and the slow heartbeat, that makes a difference. Of course, it's all yet to be seen.
Yeah, right.
But he's got the tools. He's got the right mentality, and I'm excited.
It certainly is an exciting time, and we just saw the Seahawks, and we'll bring Stoney back in here in a little bit to talk about Gray Zabel. He kind of went crazy in the other room here about Gray Zabel. It's a great pick for Seattle, but keep dropping some of those edge rushers down. Keep dropping some of the wide receivers down. the question now becomes, if you're a Titans fan, how do you build around Cam Ward? And looking at the 35th pick, where do you stand as a Titans fan? Are you wide receiver? Are you edge? Are you trade down?
I would like to trade down and still get a wide receiver. Just want to see the offense click. And I know they need an edge, and I wouldn't be upset if they got an edge. But I'd like to see them get because if they wait to the 4th round, they're not going to get an explosive guy, I don't think. So I'd like to see them get a quick difference maker. And I think they can do that if they trade it down. Now, the question becomes, of course, is Luther Burden or Igbuke, Golden, are those guys going to fall out of the 1st round? We may see them get taken here pretty soon.
Listen, I think people are in for a fun ride tomorrow night if Luther Burden is there and the Titans do not, in fact, pick him and pass on him. It'll be an interesting conversation. But
Easton Freeze is predicting that. He says they'll go right by him.
I'm willing to back him up on something. I will be honest. However,
gotta get his girlfriend and mom under control, and we'll be all right.
Now, another question that was brought up was the rest of the AFC South. Of course, they go Cam Ward. You get your franchise guy having a great draft. The Jaguars maybe pay a little too much, go up and get maybe the number 1 player in this draft from an athletic standpoint. Indianapolis gets Tyler Warren, just falling to them. AFC South is also having a great draft.
See that coming.
Right.
Yeah, but
how does that make you feel?
The Hunter thing, I did not see that coming at all. They're going to have to play him twice a year.
Right.
Deal with him.
It's gonna be
offensively
very,
and defensively. That guy's a player.
Yes. It's very exciting. Well, he
looked like he was skipping his way onto the football field. As he was. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Shedeur Sanders, what is your prediction about where he's going to go? Because I have a theory.
I think he goes in the next 5 picks.
I think he's already got it worked out with the Steelers. I think it's already worked out. I think
he's either going.
You listen to what Deion said. He said it's going to get worked out behind the scenes. I'm not going to be out front. I think they've got it worked out. They canceled appearances. I think he's going to be a Steeler, and I think it's already worked out.
So, yeah, I think he's a Steeler. We also talked. The Browns are now in a really nice position with the 33rd pick and the 36th pick to come back up here in the 1st round.
They could.
Because you trade back and you forfeit a guy like Travis Hunter for Mason Graham, a blue chip prospect. And now you have the capital to come back up into the 1st round and still feel good about having another 2nd round pick.
That's a good point.
It'll be really interesting.
If he makes it to 20 to the Steelers, he's gone. But Cleveland put themselves in a great position.
And there's the other shoe to drop. I said that he was not going to make it to 20.
There he goes.
He does not indeed make it to 20. Emeka Egbuka goes to the Buccaneers.
The dreams 19, are over for the Titans for him.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that the Texans and the Broncos were looking to move up today, I said the dream is dead. But Emeka Egbuka, the 2nd wide receiver off the board here tonight, that makes a really fun one. That is a stacked room. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, and Emeka Egbuka is crazy. Does that mean a trade is on the way? I don't know. It's fun to think about. Yeah. Well, Paul, are you having fun tonight here?
Yes, great. You guys are missing out.
I know.
This is great. I came here last year for one of the events, not both. Coming back for the Saturday night. So I'm real excited to meet Nick Suss, Paul Kuharsky. I was very upset when I found out that I'm older than Paul Kuharsky. He's the old guy, but I'm real excited about it, and it's just a great event and for a great cause.
Yeah, well, we are excited to have you here tonight. Well,
and Stoney and I were going to watch a football movie. We've already decided.
You're working on a football movie? Wow. Is that like what kind?
We're working on it. It's got to be different. It's got to be realistic, not cheesy, not like Rudy, right? I heard you.
Not like Rudy, but not like Rudy. Like the new
It's going to have heart and soul. It's not going to be Disney fluff.
We like to see it.
It's going to happen in the next 20 years.
That'll be awesome. I'm excited for it. And here comes Joe.
All right.
We will see. Are you getting out of here, Joe? All righty. I'm so far away. Stoney got me. Yeah, there you go. There are a few tickets left for Saturday.
Come out Saturday.
Yes.
Right. See, Joe?
Joe's having fun.
He brings
We're having
his
fun
A-game
tonight.
every time. Every time it's
I like how he
A-game.
said every name except me. No. Oh, just terrific, JT. Wow.
That's
Okay.
a new one.
That is a new one.
Yeah.
I did not.
Never occurred to me.
It did not either. James Pierce, Mike Green, Matthew Golden, all these guys are falling.
Okay,
No,
so
sorry.
Pierce, I mean, is he going to fall?
I mean,
If
these
he falls,
character
it's
concern
got to be
things
the
are real.
attitude. Doesn't it have to be?
Yeah,
Has to be.
I think so. I
You
think
can't
it's also
go from
another.
the possibility of being number one last year to falling out of the first round without it being a serious attitude issue. There's no way.
It's very interesting.
Okay, all right. I'm going to yield to Stoney.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate you coming on here. Hey, get back out there and have a good night.
Man, Paul fucking rules. Can I
Yeah,
say the
he's the
F-bomb on
best.
this?
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
care.
Okay. I didn't know.
Logan just said JT equals jumbo thrust.
Is this I think this is Paul's phone.
Oh,
I'm gonna go get it to him.
okay. It's okay. I can be here.
Can
real
you hold
quick.
the mic? I don't want to set it down and make the
audio bad? It's okay. I got it right here. I'm now here with my imaginary friend. Second round is about to be nuts. I agree with how many people are the amount of people that are going to be falling, which it seems like. Shooter Sanders is still on the board. I mean, we haven't even talked about Jackson Dart. Like,
No. I'm feeling good about my only two quarterbacks tonight pick.
yeah, I mean
feeling good
that
about
is a good one. Logan says, JT, do our Bolts Tampa Bay Lightning get swept? I hope not. I'm supposed to go to Game 5 next week. It's like that's why they get swept. I really hope that they win a game. It sounds like they are not doing great right now. Would suck. So, Christopher, I wanted you to give Paul his phone back. Your moose knuckle.
In there, stuff it in there. And
I
walk
guess
it over
so.
to him.
John Boy says this is where I get excited for 35 every pick. I think. Listen, I think there was a couple of outcomes here tonight that were like you really shouldn't get excited. But I think we're in one of those where I think you can start to get excited if you are a Titans fan, especially at 35. If Shedeur Sanders falls, if Jackson Dart falls, Mike Green's still on the board, Donovan Ezraku's on the board, James Pierce is on the board, Matthew Golden is on the board still somehow.
I was about to say we've spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks talking about Ibuka versus Luther Burden III. What if Matthew Golden is still on the board at 35?
Man.
That would be
oh
boy, that is some.
I don't think it happens. Like I think you look at that run of teams from the Texans. I mean, all the good teams, like all the good teams, could use a Matthew Golden, right?
Amari and Hampton, Josh Simmons are still among Mel's best available. Who are my best available right now?
Yeah, can you show us? Can they just do the second round tonight? I wish, but we do have some sleep. But we'll be back, Garrett, tomorrow.
My
doing the same thing.
Best available right now would be Malachi Starks.
Malachi Starks is still there. Will Johnson,
Josh Simmons, Jihad Campbell, Donovan Jackson, and Jahdae Barron. Has Jahdae Barron not gone either? No. Man.
No secondary players.
Well, Travis Hunter.
That's fair.
Because the Jags are stupid.
I just always forget. Like Travis Hunter is just kind of his own player. Kind of like putting him in any Not any bots. Who are they showing right now? Is that Will Johnson? Is that Amari Hampton? Who is that? Logan has been. I'm sorry, I haven't been keeping on this, but Logan has been going through this year, putting like top 5 best available limits.
Is
like,
he really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
God, Logan, thank you.
They draft until I say they can stop. That is fun. Hey, we appreciate you guys being here tonight with us.
It's so awesome.
I mean,
I'm
over
so, like,
almost over 900 people have tuned in on Twitter. Over 150 of y'all have been here on both YouTube channels, especially the 440 Sports YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys being here tonight. We apologize for all of the audio issues. I think we finally got it.
It sounds like maybe we have.
I think we finally got it, and we appreciate you guys being here. John Boy, Christopher, Derek, Logan, Ian, all these other guys, Kenneth, who may still be around here, Jordan, Wyatt, all you guys who are in here tonight. We realized that you guys could go anywhere. Ian says it's 3:20 a.m. here in England. He is in England right now watching us talk about the first round of the draft. You guys could be anywhere watching any stream, and you guys choose to be with us, and that is so important. We can't thank you guys enough. We didn't really talk about Gray Zabel or Emeka Egbuka that much. We'll get back here talking about that as the Broncos put their pick in. Logan says JT won my heart when he brought me fries. It's true. I did bring him fries once to the table.
How about that?
So
Jahdae Barron.
There it goes. So the Broncos. Wow,
that's a secondary, man. They're going to move him in the slot, right?
They have to,
and that's going to be.
It's going to be nasty.
It's going to be nasty, man. Jahdae Barron is a cop. He just polices the underneath stuff.
Okay.
On patrol, anything underneath, Jahdae Barron is going to get through.
No, I absolutely love it. Man,
really good
look at that draft party for Jahdae Barron.
Yeah,
it's an auditorium.
It is. They rented out a theater for that.
That is crazy. So yeah, Gray Zabel
is on the clock, so it is the moment of truth.
Is it
Shedeur Sanders? I like
this pick though for the Broncos. We talk about a guy who is moving him into the slot next to Patrick Surtain. Like, talk about a team that is like, if I'm the Chief, I'm scared to go up against that secondary.
Well, and you think about like building on a defense that was already pretty good, one of the better, more underrated secondaries in the league. This is kind of the equivalent of like what the Philadelphia Eagles do for the defensive tackle rotation.
Get greedy. Yeah.
This is kind of what the Broncos are doing in the secondary, getting a little greedy there.
Logan says Stoney's best players available: Stark, Simmons, Jahad Campbell, Donovan Jackson, Will Johnson, Shedeur are your best available players here. Going back to Seattle, Gray Zabel he's the first guy I ever mocked to the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. It makes so much sense. They need help on that line, especially when you have Sam Darnold now as your quarterback. They had to get better on the offensive line. You have Jackson Smith-Njigba. You have Cooper Kupp. Yes, they could have added a weapon on the outside, but ultimately I think that was the smart play getting Gray Zabel. Bona fide guy who's going to slot right in there on their offensive line. Just easy. Now, the biggest thing is I think some teams continue to think that he may be a tackle, which I think is wild.
Wait, Gray Zabel a tackle? Yeah. I mean, he has the experience. He's a good athlete.
So ESPN's putting a camera on Shedeur right now.
He's not on the phone, but he's looking
looks
down.
Like he's looking down at a phone.
Oh, dude, if Shedeur lands in Pittsburgh, that's going to be nasty. That's going to be – oh, boy. I do like – they're shaking hands. Mike Tomlin's shaking hands with somebody. The pick is in. It's the moment of truth.
Is that Jackson Dart? Who is that?
That is Jackson Dart. I want to go Dart with Shedeur after all the smoke. It would be like the Kenny Pickett year.
Yeah,
when
really
they put all the smoke out that they wanted Malik Willis.
Look at the – I'm sorry. The amount of, like, crap in the back of that room right there with the frosted tips and everything in the back was wild. So Seattle goes Gray Zabel, which they have Charles Cross on the left. They have
so this is so Charles Cross left tackle, Christian Haynes at left guard. Remember him from UConn? I think in last year's class or the year before. really good, like wrestler style guard,
Love
which is
him.
kind of like what Gray's able to do. Like get the hands on you and ride you out sort of deal. Olu Oluwatimi at center, he was a guy we saw at the Senior Bowl last year that I was really high on. And then Anthony Bradford at right guard, which is a spot that they desperately need to upgrade. This is
Like that.
I know Abe Lucas has had his moments as right tackle. I think he's still a promising young player. Gray Zabel really solidifies this as a solid young offensive line. And the pick is in for the Steelers. Here we
Let's
go.
see who they go with here. Kenneson, lol, Steelers.
I knew it, Derek Harmon. It's a great fit for Pittsburgh, though. I mean, he's a really good defensive lineman. He's the second best defensive tackle on my board. Unless I'm spoiling it for the room. Let's see what the reaction is. And you hear the
That's
reaction
the other room there.
from the other room.
Derek Harmon,
Surprised
another
as well.
guy who, like, good player, not top 32 consensus. Like, this guy was not projected to be a first-round pick. As Paul comes back in and says, what? Like, Shadur falls, Mike Green falls, Donovan Ezra-Rocky falls, James Pierce falls, Matthew Golden falls. Like, this is yet another notch for the Tennessee Titans to feel pretty good at where they are
boy.
right now
The quarterbacks are
at
sliding.
35, right?
Now does Derek Harmon 15th overall on my big board, by the way. Good value for the Steelers in my book. Now we start looking at the Cleveland Browns, like you've outlined all night, JT.
They're coming back up.
Are they coming back up for
coming back
Shador
up tonight.
Sanders? Derek Harmon, big and long, twitched up defensive lineman that can wreak some havoc on an offensive line. Oregon lined him up all over the formation, and he played hard, unafraid of taking on and fighting a double team. He has some seriously impressive burst out of his stance. So we'll see the element of power that his game has is more tidal wave than persistent drive throughout the play. So this is a guy that has a little pass rush potential to him, a complete defensive tackle prospect, alignment versatile, guy that can line up anywhere. This feels like a quintessential Steelers pick, and just keep that defensive front rotating, keep these guys churning.
Logan asked, does Shiloh go before Shadur?
I don't know that Shiloh goes at all.
John Boy says, what if Shadur is there at 35 to take him? We've been saying this quarterback competition. Cam Ward versus Shadur Sanders.
So the
one of them's going to work, right?
The Chargers are on the clock now.
Amari and Hampton.
This was one of the teams that I'm at this point, I'm thinking about my own takes on the board over there. I'm on Jared Wilson watch at this point.
Really?
If it's going to happen, it's going to be in this stretch. And I think the Chargers are one of those teams that, yeah, they have a center in place, but I don't know if it's like the guy for the future. If you want that guy in this draft class, there's one of one, and it's Jared Wilson.
Hey,
I hope
at this point, I think they go wide receiver here.
Yeah,
you have to.
I hope that with Matthew Golden too, no brainer.
You have Ladd McConkey, you have the corpse of Quentin Johnston already, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They lost.
I was about to say they lost Palmer.
You have Will Disley. You have Gus. They don't have Gus Edwards. They have Najee Harris in the backfield now. Like, that team
no
probably
secret
doesn't
what they
need
want
to
to do.
take a running back. It'd be fun to see them take a running back.
We heard
But
some
fun
rumors earlier today. Could this be a spot where you see the surprise Mason Taylor show up in the first round?
That would be fun.
That would be fun. And it would be good for the Titans too.
Yeah. At this point, any pick that is not like we are getting to the point where any pick that is not an edge, wide receiver, or quarterback makes it so good.
Yeah.
Right? Where like we've been saying, oh, this is fine. Like, yeah, this makes it better. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
For the Titans and how this board is falling.
And man, it's good that the quarterbacks are still there because if you're bunched
here's
up
what
there.
Here's what I'll say before the night is over. Shadur goes tonight to the Browns when they trade back up.
Okay.
And he is not the only quarterback that goes because I think, like, in this scenario, I think Shadur goes tonight is the one thing I'll take. like I'll stick a pick on it.
Okay.
On my flag. I think he goes to the Rams.
Oh, I love that so much. I
think
love
he
that
goes
so
to
much. That would be quite the fit. Do you think, since the Steelers passed on Shedeur Sanders, does that kind of open the conversation back up for Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh?
Dude,
Or do you think they're just going to roll with Mason Rudolph?
I don't know, man.
I mean, maybe the weekend's not over. They could still end up with a Kyle McCord, Will Howard type that I think has.
Logan says that take was so good, JT, that nobody heard it. My take was that Shedeur goes tonight and he goes to the Rams. That is the take.
I like that. I think it's a good fit. I think that would be a good situation for Shedeur to go to. He wouldn't be required to start right off the bat. Could develop under Matthew Stafford and take the reins once he's gone.
Mel Kiper is best available. Shedeur Sanders, Will Johnson, Amarian Hampton, Josh Simmons, and Matthew Golden. No edge rushers.
Man, Amarian Hampton's got to come.
Does
That
he?
dude's too
Does
good.
he?
What if Amarian Hampton's there at 35? You're passing? Oh, that would be awfully tempting. That would be awfully tempting for me. What if Will Johnson's there? Somebody cut my mic off. We gotta.
Ian says if the Steelers roll with Rudolph, all those dynasty picking owners are down bad. I agree. Derek says Shedeur to the Texans. They need a real quarterback.
Oh, I love
Shade
that
thrown
so
there. John Boy says Golden the Chargers, though, in his opinion. Logan says then take. Sorry, I already read that one. Eddie says we are a bottle of wine and 8 shots of Classe Azul deep. I'm starting to come around on board. Eddie, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah, Eddie,
I want some Classe.
Come party. Let's
Come
go.
party with us. That is fun. Logan says Titans fans would lose their mind if the Titans drafted another guy without him. This is true.
That's true.
If John Campbell is there at 35.
Dude, and it's funny because Zach and I sat down after we got to the end of our draft guide and we said, okay, who are guys that look like they fit what the Titans want to do from a schematic standpoint? And each of us have a list of players in there. And I remember telling them, like, I don't care that the Titans have no shot of drafting him. I'm putting Jahad Campbell on the list because he looks like the exact type of linebacker that Denard Wilson would want. What if he's, because of these injury concerns, what if he's there at 35? Like, there's a lot of players on the board right now. This I don't want to jinx this because we still have several picks to go before the night's over with. But so far, I feel like this is shaping up about as well as it could for the Titans.
And the Chargers are bleeding the clock down. This is the first team we've seen take, like, through the wire. Is there a trade happening here? I think that's very interesting.
Are they moving on from Justin Herbert? They're going to take Shedeur.
Have you seen the thing this offseason where Justin Herbert's been, like, raising a little gerbil? And it's just, like, been him in the gerbil?
No.
It's been very, very fun.
It sounds nice.
Eddie says, I'll be there Saturday, boys. We're doing shots.
I can't wait to do that.
Logan says, I think they're remote on Sunday or Saturday. Saturday, we will be live from noon until the end of the draft over at the 104.5 The Zone studios with Zach and Easton on the casting couch. Talking all about day 3 of the draft. And then that night, we will be back here in this building for round 2 of the charity draft party where we will be off the record.
I was about to say no cameras for that one, no live stream for that one.
Nope. And
if you're not in this building,
we've even heard some things tonight that I'm saving up for.
Braden was going over, just to give you guys a tease, that there are a couple of tickets left. Braden was going over some of the things that he wanted to ask some of the people that will be here Saturday night, and JT and I both looked at each other like, oh, this is gonna be pretty good. So you don't want to miss it. There's still an opportunity to get a ticket and join us here. No cameras, no microphones, just private Q&A with some of the most esteemed members of Titans Media.
Some of the guys that know the juiciest things. And I think the guy that is going to know the juiciest, and he won't ever say it, but like Nick Suss is just a fountain.
Nick Suss is awesome in general. I mean, you should want to buy a ticket just to hang out with Nick Suss.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. We are so excited to do that. Logan says, "Can I join virtually?" In your mind, if I buy a ticket, can I be on FaceTime? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Braden about that.
Let's
I
ask Braden.
I feel like Braden would be open to it. Let's go into the children.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what he says.
Are there virtual tickets?
Jahdae Barron to the Broncos. I still can't get over that. That's crazy.
How's it going? Exactly. That's what we try to do
we're
here.
trying, yeah.
Christopher says, who is in tonight's draft? Who is tonight's draft snub in your guys' opinion?
Well,
Mackie Golden?
I'm a big Malachi Starks fan. He's one of the 4 blue chip players in this class for me. I kind of knew, and I've told you guys this before, like, my evaluations are tape-based. I knew a safety was not going to go 4th overall, but I really like his tape, and I am a little bit surprised that he hasn't gone to this point. Looks like the pick is in for the Chargers, though.
Shedeur
Sanders to the Chargers. There he goes. Holy shit. What are the Chargers doing?
They're building something.
Oh.
They just signed Najee Harris.
I know. That rips. That low-key rips. What do you think the Chargers want to do on offense, JT?
They want to run the damn ball. That's what they want to do. The Chargers end up taking the Chargers ended up taking Amari and Hampton here. I mean, that is what John Harbaugh wants to do every single day and twice on Sunday, which is more than twice on Sunday, but run the damn ball. And that's what he's going to do. What he's going to do, Bert, is he's going to run the damn ball. But once again, this continues. It's just another home run pick for the Titans.
It is, yeah.
Now no edge, no wide receiver. He's a guy that we thought was going to go in the first. Listen, are we talking about now like Travion Henderson goes in the first?
So I think so. I think he's a first-round talent. I think there's I wrote this. I think there's a little bit of Reggie Bush in Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
I think he's a perfect candidate to be at the back end of this first round. But Hampton, man, he's one of my favorite players to watch in this draft class. Just a thick, powerful runner. Has a clean jump cut. I know he's not the speediest, burstiest guy, but he's a guy that you can plug into a run game, and he's going to turn yards, man. He's a really tough runner. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Listen, I mean, people sometimes like head scratcher. That's a fantasy asset, dog. Logan with just the most wild comment there that I will not be saying. He says, Harbaugh is doing something hard. I'm not going to say that. However, like, Jim Harbaugh does not care about having his full belt out. Like, he wants to use as many running backs as possible. Yeah. We saw how that worked last year with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. There's had people in here talking about me, and it's kind of weird just like hearing your name and like you talked about, but trying to focus on you.
I was trying so hard to get through.
No idea what's going on.
Yeah. Hey, anything can happen at the 440 Sports watch party.
And they seem to narrate us like we were zoo animals. And here is the wild podcaster.
Thinking like Amari and Hampton. Talk about Amari and Hampton. What's the Hampton eval? Get through it.
Oh, Adam is here. Dad as hard. I see the family jewels.
Oh man,
Brandon, we need your pick on the Packers.
He's busy. Yeah, we're in here podcasting.
They brought in the upper class to come look at the zoo animals. Anyways, Amari and Hampton. I think that's a great pick for them. I don't think it's a head scratcher. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's doing backflips.
I know Twitter's on fire right now. People are bitching about that pick, calling it stupid, but I'm telling you, that's going to rule so hard on Sundays this fall to watch Amari and Hampton.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. We got breaking news.
Rap Sheet just said at number 23, the Packers are getting trade balls similar to the Chargers at number 22. Someone is trying to come up.
Someone's trying to come up. Who is? Dude, you got me.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that wild? Consider that they had Kevin Byard. They have like fine safe quarterbacks, but Jim Harbaugh of all people passed the. What does that say?
Says he wants to run the damn ball.
that's fair.
Run the
I
damn
think
ball.
that is fair. I got cooked apparently by some.
You got cooked?
Well, that's what Wyatt said. I got cooked.
I don't know if you cooked me. Unless our friends here were cooking me. I was trying to tune them out, focus on my email. Okay.
I was trying to focus on your email as well. Giants want Sanders. It could be very much coming up here.
Let's get back into this thing.
Carter and Sanders.
I don't know. We're getting into the point of the night where I've had too much. I'm married a Jersey girl, and so her whole family, they're all Giants fans. And
apparently, the Eagles are.
Ooh, Mike Green.
Yeah.
Mike
Bill
Green.
Johnson.
James Pierce.
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. Trading A.J. Brown to the Patriots.
I don't know. That is apparently from
But I was talking to my father-in-law earlier, and I said, "Enjoy your shiny new pass rusher." I said, "The Giants are going to take a dual Carter," and he said, "I'm just hoping you can trade up and get Shador or Carter."
Yeah. So the Jordan Schultz says the Eagles are discussing a move up with the Packers. So they are on the clock, and we are coming down to the wire here as the Packers look to maybe be trading out of this pick. Would be very interesting because Malachi Starks is on the board. Georgia safety going the Eagles. That would make a lot of sense here if they wanted to move up and try to take Malachi Starks. Mike Green would be a dynamic piece to add to that edge room. I'm trying to think of other players that could be here. Could they go Josh Simmons? And develop, like there are so many options that if the Eagles wanted to trade up here, like any player they take, Jahad Campbell finally get a line. Howie Roseman finally gets his linebacker that he wanted.
The clock is running down on Green Bay right now.
I think they are. I think they're very much locked into trade discussions here, which is a good time to ask. It's hard for going back to the Bucs pick of Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
Like you just re-signed Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
You got like 1 to 2 years left of Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen McMillan looks strong. How does Emeka Egbuka fit into there? Like, is there a way you can justify that to me or to the audience? Like, how do you?
You're thinking it's not like it's a luxury pick.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is a luxury pick.
I think it could be maybe the contingency plan for Mike Evans for life after Mike Evans.
McMillan fills the Evans role.
Well,
and Egbuka becomes Godwin.
Yeah, I think that's probably. It looks like the Packers are going to stick.
Packers sticking dick.
Yeah, it does feel that way because it was assumed all offseason that the Bucs were going to address their defensive front, whether or the defense. Period. I've seen linebackers, Jahad Campbell mock to him. I've seen edge rushers mock to him. I've seen safeties, Malachi Starks, mock to him before. For them to go offense with where they're at right now is a little bit of a surprise. Doesn't feel like they're really feeling a need. This is more or less just like the rich getting richer kind of deal.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the offense on track and maybe getting ahead of their top two wide receivers, getting a little long in the tooth. You could see a situation. There's the gin taking over again. You can see a scenario where McMillan and Egbuka are the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 of this franchise moving forward once Evans and Godwin right off into the sunset. So maybe that's all it is just taking the opportunity on a roster that, to me, is one of the more underrated rosters in the league. I don't think they have a whole lot of holes that they desperately need to fill. So if anybody in that spot can just roll the dice, take a luxury pick, add a wide receiver to an already good wide receiving core, I do think it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I agree.
Are you busy?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to spell Ezeraku.
It's E-Z-E-I-R. EIRUAKU.
Had to retweet as well.
So it looks like the Packers are sticking and picking. Might be a good spot for linebacker.
They go with the rare first-round wide receiver here.
Golden would be interesting.
It would be very, very interesting, I feel like. And they're doing so much pomp and circumstance because it is here in Green Bay. And I feel weird because the other room has now gone to a hush. I'm waiting for them to hear the pick as well. The Packers have selected.
There's a hush that has fallen over the room in here too, because Braden's a Packers fan.
Derek said, "Make the pick, old man."
The pick, old man. I'm with it.
Shedeur Sanders.
Braden's telling everybody he's
part owner of the Packers.
Part
Good
owner
for
of
you,
the Packers. Man. Yeah, good for you, Braden.
Okay. Shut up, Mark. Pick.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. We got the draft had been moving.
We were going along so well
all night,
and then it came to a.
This
Mark is yapping.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, Mark.
There he goes.
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. It's very rare, though, I will say.
Oh, yeah, we got to. Let's hear the reaction. Oh, I just heard a loud, concussive.
I heard Braden say
noise.
Not Matthew Golden, and then they said Matthew Golden. That is quite funny. Well, Matthew Golden goes to the Green Bay Packers in a rare feat.
I get the apprehension with Golden. I think that Texas offense.
The dream is dead.
Yeah, dream is dead for the Titans at 35 for sure. I've talked about the Texas offense on Football and Other Upwards. There's a lot of multi-level concepts. There's a lot of go routes and underneath crossing routes, post routes, stuff like that. It is a little more simplistic. It's not like the levels of the Tennessee Ole Miss offense, but I do think it is wide receiver, quarterback friendly. I get the concerns with Golden that he goes to the combine, he runs a 4.29 40. You see that blazing speed at the combine. I don't think you necessarily see it on the tape. I get those concerns, but this is still a pure playmaker that does a lot of things really well from the receiver position, checks a lot of the boxes, and from everything that I've heard, I don't know if you've heard anything different, JT, really high football character guy, going to be a great addition to that locker room, going to go out there and make some plays, man.
Yeah, and I think those are the chalk three wide receivers that we should have seen go off the board here. Interesting that they went in this order and to the teams they went to. Certainly was not expected for any of those teams to potentially go wide receiver there. However, like this brings into play now another wide receiver goes tonight.
Oh boy, who?
Luther Burden
third.
Jaden Higgins, Joel,
Manor, that class of guys.
And here's the thing, right? As much as and we're going to talk about this all day tomorrow when we start with our pre-show. Tomorrow, Luther Burden. I've talked to people in the building that Luther Burden is not their favorite, and I think I'm trying to prepare Titan fans for when they pick somebody else at 35 that is not a wide receiver / is not Luther Burden.
Do you think they could potentially take a wide receiver that's not Luther Burden the third with Luther Burden the third on the board?
Absolutely. I think so.
Okay.
I don't think he's there. And this is really interesting because Easton Freeze did a to Z board on the A to Z today. Did a board with you, me, himself, James Foster, Zach, and Drew from Iron City Film. We did a board where we took all of our picks in terms of what we think the Titans are thinking, not our
Yeah.
boards, but what do you
Yeah.
think the Titans are thinking. And we all came to a consensus that Luther Burden was a lot lower than guys like Noel and Williams. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just me saying this. Like, there are people out there who believe that Luther Burden may not be the guy there at 35.
Yeah. Where did Jacob go?
Jacob
was
was-
just in here.
Jacob,
Jacob, we're gonna say. I think we have something to say. He's gonna allow him to do that.
he wanted to say his piece.
Yeah.
Logan
Mhm.
says, we do not need Burden or Pierce. Joe says, Pierce, please. Eddie says, please give me a Burden. Ian says, it's Tennessee. We will probably take Jaquan Jackson's cousin in the sixth. Listen, the only relation I would like teammate, family, otherwise this draft cycle
Yeah.
would be Quincy Riley in the fourth, which is I think a good segue for the rest of our show. I want you guys in the comments to give us just start naming dudes that you think would be good Titan fits for 103.
What pick are we on?
We are on the Vikings at 24.
24. Should we take our last break from the week?
Yeah.
Or
think we can do that.
are you good to write it out?
I can do either.
Okay, I'm good to write it out.
I'm feeling.
I've been holding my piss in for the last 3 hours.
I mean, you
so
could go Pittsburgh.
Wow.
We could play the Stoney Keeley ad read again and make people listen to elevator music.
no, I'm good. I can do it. I'm a trooper on road trips. My wife be like, I ain't stopping this car for nothing, and I say, okay, I'm gonna hold my piss
Well, it
for
isn't
6
all you
hours.
can drink. Anyway,
Yeah, we've
I
been.
I would like to finish my night off with
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Maybe we'll take one more.
All right, let's do that, and then I will go
We'll do
piss for
we'll
that.
do the Vikings. And then
We'll do the Vikings pick, and then we'll go.
John Boy says Vikings have 4 picks. They should trade back. I agree.
Yeah.
Logan says one more round.
It blew my mind when I realized that the Vikings only have 4 picks. in
They
this
trade.
draft.
Did they trade up last year? Or did they just?
I don't remember.
Incompetent?
I don't remember.
So here comes
There
the
it is.
Vikings. Here
Is this the Malachi Starks spot?
this is Jahad Campbell. Pairing Jahad Campbell with having pace with the electric.
Boom.
Wow!
There we
There
go.
you go.
Yeah.
Your boy,
Yeah.
Stoney Keeley. The
I'm sorry.
Vikings. The Vikings got a good one here. We won't say his name for the rest of the room, but we will let them know that we
I just,
know.
yeah,
Your
I just
boy.
think I just blew the speakers out, so I apologize for that. One of my favorite players in this draft. Man. Just a moving square out there, just built like a brick shit house. Thick,
Oh, so the Houston.
strong.
Sorry, not the Houston Texans. Here we go.
Whoa.
Here we go. That
Oh
is a
my God.
bombshell here. Just like I
Oh,
said was
baby.
going to happen. We were going to get some late
Oh,
round
man.
magic here. New York Giants trading back into the now. Here is it Shedeur?
Oh,
Is it Jackson
God,
Dart?
I can't take it. I'm about to piss
Titans fans,
myself.
Titans fans also rejoicing. It means that the Texans can't get one of these other guys that are falling,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
that they would like. Now, here's the thing though. They're going to be the first pick for the Titans tomorrow.
Yeah.
Almost guarantee it. I don't know what the trade is. Let me go try to find here. Here we go. The Giants have traded pick 34, a 2025 third round pick, and a future third round pick to the Texans for pick 26. Sorry, Field Yates said to the Rams, and he's like, that's incorrect. Sorry. Yeah, I think it should hurt it. So 34 and 2/3. Sorry, yeah, 34 and 2/3. One being this year, one next year to come up to 25.
Oh no! Everybody at the Jackson Dart party's clapping.
Oh my!
Oh, no!
goodness. Oh my goodness!
Oh!
Logan, so a future 3. So move up to 25.
Oh!
Oh, it's Jackson.
It's Jackson
Oh,
Dart.
it's Jackson Dart.
Oh my!
Wow. It is Jackson Dart. Yep. There's no doubt in my mind. It is Jackson Dart.
This
Wow. This is
is
incredible.
fucking crazy.
That's crazy. So crazy.
Man.
Joseph's
I don't-
humiliation ritual at this point. Well,
I don't know how I feel.
there was another quarterback that went tonight.
Yeah.
It was a trade up, but it was not Shedeur Sanders.
Not
And
Shedeur
so
Sanders.
now I'm wondering here, as the ESPN goes to as ESPN goes to commercial here, we're gonna have to take a quick pause here before we get this pick. But wow! So Logan said it's 2/3. No, so it's. That's a great question, Braden. You should come in here and debate that. 25 for 34, 25 third, and a 26 third for the 25th overall pick.
Yeah.
If you're a Titans fan, you really would like to have a third to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Is Jackson Dart better than Tommy DeVito?
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Jackson Dart's the third best quarterback on that roster. Is Tommy DeVito ahead of him? Is he the fourth best? Okay.
So, I listen. I'm with Braden on this one.
Your thoughts on Matthew Golden?
Braden's eating chocolate.
I'm going to do this off the camera. So Matt LaFleur's offense needs a speed threat to make it all work. Christian Watson cannot stay healthy. I would prefer Luther Burden because I like Burden better as a player. But Matthew Golden is a talent, and he's got speed, and he adds to the offense what they need, and it complements all the other pieces in the offense. 2 tight ends, Reed, Wicks, all the other guys. He is what they need. So I'm willing to give him a chance. But he's a tiny human, guys. He's tiny. 5'10", 190. It's a small receiver. Go Packers.
Okay. Do the Browns even need to trade up at this point?
They might not.
I don't know what else I was going to say about Matthew Golden. I was pretty much done. I was just trying to get
that was a good summation of
Matthew
Matthew Golden.
I have nothing to add there. I don't think the Browns do.
And I don't think they do either.
Browns can walk out of this with Shedeur at 33, Luther Burden at 36, and feel really good about this draft class.
Jackson Dart, to me, is such a dice roll. He was QB5 on my list. I like Kyle McCord better than him.
Wow.
I like Tyler Shuck better than him as well.
What if Tyler Shuck goes before Shedeur Sanders?
I don't think my heart can take it. I'll be ruined.
Looks like Dart.
It looks like Dart.
Looks like Dart.
They showed him on the phone at his draft party.
Makes sense.
Everybody was.
Did you see what happened last night when Joe Shane's son posted a video of Jackson Dart on his Instagram page? Christopher continues to say what we've all been saying.
What?
Titans need to take Shedeur Sanders at 35 and just make a 3-way competition. Yeah. Will Levis versus Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. Whoever wins.
This man, they keep showing Shedeur at his party, and it's just him looking down at his phone. It's kind of.
You think he's playing Clash of Clans?
Maybe that's what it is. This kind of sucks, man. Jackson Dart, like that offense is just. It's wild. He was on Gruden's quarterback gimmick this week, and Gruden was kind of grilling him because his snap counts really just clap. I mean, but that's how simple it is. Like, you go through that offense, and it really is like a lot of just really simple top-down reads that a lot of routes outside the number where predetermined. There's a lot of play action. I mean, the talent is there, but I have no idea if Jackson Dart can actually operate an offense at the NFL level.
Yeah, I mean, but the arm talent, you cannot, especially coming from that Ole Miss offense, you cannot go against that. And I think when you have Malik Neighbors, when you have Darius Slayton in that offense, when you have Wan'Dale Robinson, those are some targets that you can be quarterback friendly with.
Yeah. What do you think the issue is with Shedeur? Do you think it really is like a lot of the circus?
Yeah, and there it is. It is confirmed. The slide continues for him. I'd be interested in 10 years to do a documentary on Shedeur Sanders' pre-draft process.
Yeah,
because this still could very much be a calculated thing for the Sanders family.
Yeah.
This still very much could be a thing where, like, once again, The Rams are on the clock. Like I said, my bold prediction: the Rams stick and pick Shedeur Sanders right here. Like, put the slide stop here because he goes to probably the best situation available for him ever. Maybe. Like, I think it's the last stop though for him right now, unless the Browns want to trade up, and even then, like, what team?
There is another trade. Trade alert. Trade alert.
The Rams are trading
the pick.
Atlanta?
They coming up to get Mike Green to pair with Jalen Walker?
Are they coming up to get Starks?
Starks? Yeah.
They're coming up to get Jody Barron went, right?
Jody Barron
yes,
went.
He did. Are they coming up to get Will Johnson?
Is there an offensive lineman?
They're coming up to get Burden?
Coming up to get Burden.
There's a lot of things here. But
this is nuts. They're showing the Gator Bowl. This throw is that they're showing on ESPN is just like
next level.
Is the Jackson Dart throw.
So the Falcons trade up with LA here. I think they go defense once again.
Maybe this is the Jared Wilson pick. They're like, we got to get a center. I don't think the Jared Wilson pick's
Could be a wide receiver. I'm not saying that is tight end.
I'm just trying to think of like.
Are you trading up for Mason Taylor?
That's what I'm trying to think of, like the Falcons' needs.
Josh Simmons would be a nice future development plan, as Bridget says.
Campbell.
Campbell. That's a great. I like it. I love that pick. If they get Jalen Walker, Campbell, and they renovate their room, having Jahad Campbell there full time, and you get Jalen Walker to play, like they need. At the same time, they take Mike Green here. You double up on edge rusher.
Could it be Will Johnson?
I think it could be any of them.
The thing I will say about the Jackson Dart pick is that this probably is a pretty good situation for him. Zach and I have talked about this on F-Words. I don't feel like the Giants roster is as bad as that it is. And I think that's why they were so desperately trying to move up and get a quarterback. They were the rumored dance partner with the Titans for a trade up for Cam Ward for a long time. They were mentioned in the Sam Darnold sweepstakes.
Wow.
What did they give up?
Sorry. The Falcons traded 36, 242, and a first in 2026 for 26 and 101. Once again, that is a second rounder, a seventh rounder, and a 2026 first rounder for 26 and 101. That's an overpay.
Who's I don't
like who's the top on your big board, Josh Simmons?
Well, I've got Malachi Starks still. Jahad Campbell, Will Johnson, Shedeur Sanders.
Like, I agree that maybe, as John says, you're trading back up from the second was the move. If it's going to cost a first to move back up into from the second to the first, is wild. Falcons got fleeced. Falcons have some conviction. Falcons are run by a barrel of monkeys, Jake says, and only overpay. Like, man, like that is crazy. And it looks like the pick is now rolling in. And if that really is the pick, and you give up a second, you give up your second this year, seventh, and next year's first to come up here into the first and get a fourth out of it.
They've got to be doubling up on edge, right?
I think so.
I think you look at Ezra Raku and Mike Green. I don't know. Malachi Starks makes sense for me, but give up a first. Here we go. The pick is in. The selection is up. What? What the? Are you kidding me?
That's what they gave up.
Oh my
God, that's crazy. So they take James Pierce Jr. and give up a future first to move up from 44 to 26 together.
Wow. I mean, James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. The Falcons had a plan to fix the pass rush this draft cycle, and they're going for it, man. They are going for it.
Wow.
Would you have given up a future first-round pick for James Pierce?
I don't think I would.
I mean, character concerns aside, I just don't think the tape works. He's an
I don't
athletic
either.
freak.
Here's the
I
thing.
give him that, but
Eddie says this draft is stronger than I am, and here's the thing.
it is
Mike Green and Donovan Ezra-Rocker are still on the board here.
nuts. I mean, listen,
if we get to tomorrow and they're still on the board, I'm not like the idea that the Titans trade back is out the window.
Yeah.
You are sticking and picking Mike Green or Donovan Ezra-Rocker, whichever one falls.
I mean, do you think that the character concerns are a bigger issue than maybe we're giving it credence with Mike Green?
Maybe that's me just saying that one. Donovan Ezra-Rocker. Stick and pick.
I like Mike Green based on the tape. I think
I do too.
He's got one of the best pass rush skill sets in the entire draft class. He hits like a hammer. I know he's a little undersized. Go watch the Ohio State tape. I thought he really stepped up that game, played some good football. Really, really good first level position.
Yeah, I agree with you there as well. It's
James
very
Pierce Jr., first round.
Yeah. So that is one of the two guys that we definitely thought we didn't know if they were going to be a first rounder, but you pair him with Jalen Walker in that secondary that's very, very good. Like they have a good secondary, but they needed help desperately on the front of the defensive line. That is really where they were. Let's take our final break.
Okay.
Let's run to the bathroom. Let's get our final drink of the night, and we will send this. We'll retweet the show. We'll get one last push here as we finish off the night. We are once again live at the Track 1 building here at the 440 Sinkers Beverages Draft Watch Party. Thank you guys all for being here. We will be back in 3 minutes to react to the Baltimore Ravens pick and whatever madness goes on the rest of the night. Do you think they want to hear? They want to hear from Stoney again. Here's some elevator music and Stoney's luscious, velvety tones telling you about how great M.L.Rose is.
The Hot Read Podcast is proudly presented by M.L.Rose Craft Beer and Burgers. With 7 locations across Nashville and an 8th on the way, you're sure to be near the best selection of beers and burgers in the city. From their shareables like the Nashville Hot Cheese Curds to the wide selection of craft burgers and other sandwiches, you simply can't go wrong. Try April's Burger of the Month, the Thick Boy Burger, at any of their 7 locations. Capitol View, Franklin, Gallatin, Melrose 8th Avenue, Mount Juliet, Sylvan Park, and tell them that the Hot Read Podcast sent you.
Welcome back. We are, you guys can just hang out. Since there's only this many people left, you guys can do whatever you want. We have we're waiting on Jared Wilson to go here, which
Oh man,
he needs to go here. So what do we got? So Ted McMillan falls out of the first round. Did not happen.
I got that one wrong.
3 running backs in round 1. We need one more to
Travion
go.
Henderson still in play.
Only 2 quarterbacks in round 1.
That's
Could
holding.
still happen.
That's
Tyler
holding. Yeah.
Shuck, 3rd quarterback drafted. Could happen. James Pierce Jr. bust. Maybe.
Falcons don't think so.
Shadur Sanders, 4th quarterback drafted. Could happen.
Whoa. Who said that? That was one of Easton's. That was one of
6
Easton's,
wide receivers, round 1, but not Burden. We have 3.
Yeah, because
the
happen. Jags are playing.
5 quarterbacks, top 34. No M.L.Rose. Could happen, I guess.
I mean, it's still, we got 2 more picks tomorrow night to add to that too.
Yes, this is true. And then, of course,
here's the Ravens pick.
The famous Luther Burden is Traylon Burks.
That's so stupid.
How
does this happen? How do the Baltimore Ravens get away with this?
The Baltimore Ravens take Malachi Starks, pairing him with Kyle Hamilton, and it's the most dangerous second safety group.
Not fair.
In a long time.
Not fair. Whew. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Starks needs to be round 1. I agree. Once again, Mike Green, Donovan Ezraku, ball. Listen, here's the thing.
Oh, this is where my balls come out of my shorts. Across my legs.
It is the most Ravens thing we've ever seen in our lives. Shadur Sanders, let's say he's there at 35. Do you think? Well, we've already talked about the WrestleMania Thunderdome style
quarterback battle
that is going to go down. It'll be legendary and for the ages. However, Stoney showing a chicken heart, apparently. I don't know what that means, but
oh boy.
That's what happens when you go best player available. Malachi Starks goes there. There's only 7 picks separating us from another good player.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is you have to go through the hardest group.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Luther Burden will not be the pick.
Are the Chiefs about to stumble into one of the best offensive tackles in this draft?
Josh Simmons, very much good.
Josh Conley's still available
who
as
y'all
well.
Want at 35. For me, it's easy. I want Donovan Ezraku.
So I was thinking about this when I was taking a piss a second ago. Things have actually kind of taken a bad turn for the Titans with Jackson Dart going.
Yes. Because the Browns could easily just take him at 33 and it'd be fine.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like...
And you have the Texans in front of you. The Texans are going to go Luther Burden just to spite you.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the numbers at edge have dwindled to Mike Green, Donovan Ezraku. The numbers at wide receiver has dwindled. I don't know if I'm making sense at all, by the way. I blame Joey for pouring these drinks tonight. But it's Luther Burden the third or bust at the receiver position. I don't know, I don't know where else you would go outside of those 2 positions. Now you're looking at, I mean, I don't know. Jihad Campbell, are we going to be?
I'd be okay with that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
he's definitely got. I would absolutely be okay with that. But
do we pivot to the linebacker? Do we pivot to the corner? I mean, Siobhan Ravel still available as well as Will Johnson. I mean. How do you
let's add another outside safety with knee issues?
I mean, it's kind of
Joe says even Donovan Jackson is gone.
Even Donovan Jackson's gone. Amarian Hampton's gone at this point. I mean, do they take one of the tackles if Connerly or Simmons falls? These don't fill immediate needs is what I'm saying. It's like we're with each pick that passes, we are getting closer and closer to a situation where it's like Donovan Ezraku or bust. Yeah. And I don't like being in those spots.
And I think there is something to be said that Jacob, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Is Jacob in the chat?
35. Yeah, he just said
Jacob's
Nick Scorton
in the
at 35.
chat right
Get
next
out of
to
here.
us.
Get out of here with that.
Nick Scorton at 35.
I mean, at this point, Mike Green has to be a character issue. The talent is way better than where he is right now. And if he continues to fall, it makes me think that he's probably just off a lot of teams' boards.
That's what it sounds like, for sure.
That he's just like, it seems like maybe it's more than just the things we've heard in his past. Like, these are still ongoing issues. Could they potentially be things that pop up again in his career at some point? And that's a risk that people just simply do not want to take.
My best available at this point would be Josh Simmons, Jihad Campbell, Will Johnson, Shador Sanders, Luther Burden III, Mike Green, and Josh Connerly. So we're getting to the part of the draft where Josh Connerly's name is starting to pop up.
Yeah.
To revisit my question,
Watts?
I like Xavier Watts. Yeah.
Nick M.L.Rose.
To revisit this question, like
sorry, just a thing that popped in my head. When we talk about a trait-based team,
yeah,
and you look at a team like the Titans at 35 and Nick M.L.Rose is there, does that not, based on being a traits-based team, make you even ponder the idea that they could look at him?
The Lions pick is in. The trait is good, but the tape, I think, leaves a little to be desired for M.L.Rose. And that's where it kind of feels like, I mean, I don't know, because they did meet with Shamar Stewart. They were kind of sniffing around him a little bit. But it kind of feels like this team, I don't know that M.L.Rose would be a good fit for what they're trying to do. He's built like a linebacker. I think he moves really well. I think he's good in coverage. I think the issue is he looks really lost. Oh, no way. No way. I had a Tyleik Williams as a first rounder bet on FanDuel.
Really? Let's go.
Yes. I just won like $40.
You just won like $40? Yeah. That's crazy. Wow.
I love it. Dude, Tyleik Williams rules, man. Not in the first round, but he rules.
He's a defensive interior guy too, right? Like,
yeah, he is. Yeah.
I had somebody tell me that like there's no possible like a Lions fan told me there's no chance that they take an interior guy because they have so many. And I was like, why wouldn't they? It'd be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And there they go. They take Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Maybe the best guy on that line that came out this year, probably between him, JTT, and Jack Sawyer. Maybe it's a toss-up between him and JTT.
I like JTT better myself, but it's close. Tyleik Williams does this weird thing I noticed. I don't know if it's a coaching thing or not, but he does this weird thing where he will like push, pop in the shoulders, and then grab on and like drop to one knee to like sink the guy down. And I don't know if it's a coaching thing. They're showing Shador looking at his phone. Bless his heart. Again, I don't know if it's a coaching thing, if they're telling him to do that, or if it's just like, I'm about to lose this rep. I need to just like get to the ground kind of deal. It was really weird. I've never seen any other defensive tackle that I've studied do that before, but he's a powerful guy, got a little bit of twitch. That's a surprise to me that he would go in the first round, but this is a team we talk about with Detroit wanting to build through the trenches.
As they always do.
Where he's at. I've got him. And you know what? I mean, to be fair, Mason Graham's gone. Derek Harmon's gone. Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan. I've got Tyleik Williams as DT5 in this class. So maybe not necessarily the reach that it seems.
Yeah, I agree. You're rich now. You're
going 40. You got $41 off a dollar bet.
Oh yeah.
How about that? That paid for my lift home. Won't have to call my wife and wake her up and be like, can you pick me up because I've had too much gin and tonics.
There you go. We love it. He was 48th on your Stoney board, apparently, according to Logan.
Okay, so a bit of a reach, but you know what?
Hey,
it's okay.
I'm
if you need your defensive tackle. What are you hearing? Are we getting a live update from the text messages of JT?
Yeah, I'm getting some group chat things about certain players that I don't want to say.
People aren't happy?
No, I'm just saying, like, why have players not gone? And then there's reasons.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a way I can spin it on. Like with
It's not.
I can't say it now because I just saw some things, and now I can't. There's not a way I can say it that like logically gets you there without knowing what I'm going to say. Anyways,
Not your place to report
what's
news.
a chicken heart?
Well, let's Google it.
Because Logan says JT asked Stoney to explain chicken heart. Stoney's hinge goblins are missing. From Sofro.
Those are chicken hearts.
Are they supposed to be like synonym for nuts?
Yeah.
Oh,
Very scrotal
I see.
looking. Yeah. Testicles, if you will. Oh man, our group chat is blowing up over something.
So here's the thing, right? Like we were feeling really, really good about this draft class going into like the 20s. However, I did preach patience at this point that like, hey, I think players start to go that you thought may be there that now looking at 35,
Yeah.
like it really does feel like the only answer, the only way out is Donovan Ezeraku, right? Like that is the only way that it feels like if you're sticking and picking right now, unless it's a Nick and Emanwari, unless it's a Xavier Watts, unless it's a Josh Simmons, unless it's a Donovan Ezeraku, like outside of that, it feels like everything else is going to be very much a reach.
Yeah.
So Pretty Ricky just said, Eagles
boy.
tried trading up with the Packers to get Jahad Campbell and it fell through. Let's see if he falls to them.
So Jahad Campbell won't even make it.
And he finishes that tweet by saying #fly Eagles fly, #fuck Howie.
Oh man. So this is Jahad Campbell might not be there at 35. Zach said this in our group chat. I'm just doxing the group chat on the broadcast. It's better what I was trying to articulate earlier, but I think I was probably a little too drunk to do so well. It's lining up for no players worth a trade up for other teams. That is the predicament that it seems the Titans are going to be in at this
Campbell.
point.
Sorry, people couldn't hear me. Yeah, I mean, if Jahad Campbell falls to the Eagles, it sounds like that's going to be their pick. Commanders. Yeah. So,
like I said, it feels like we are approaching Ezeraku or bust territory.
But here's the thing: like with the Luther Burden, if Mike Breed, a certified first-round talent based on how he plays edge, falls to the second round because of character concerns, like I feel like that should be amplified for Luther Burden. Like if Mike Green's going to fall past like 35 because of character concerns, Luther Burden is definitely falling past 35 because of character concerns. I just like telling people once again that we need to pump the brakes on Luther Burden. And maybe I'm wrong, and I would love to.
I want them to take Luther Burden the third at this point. I don't think that they will.
And there goes another tackle.
That's what I was just reacting to, was like
Josh Connerly.
Now we're getting to a point where like the guys that you could potentially see as contingency plans for Dan Moore Jr., maybe even contingency plans for Kevin Zeitler, now they're coming off the board too. Again, Donovan Ezeraku or bust. Because man.
It's Donovan Ezeraku or bust.
Boy.
For the Titans at 35. And I know that he still is not the perfect prospect. He's probably not he's probably not the solution to the edge problem. But I think it's a start. And I think it's a good pick for the Titans at 35. And that's where I am right now. I'm Donovan Ezeraku or bust.
Maybe this is how they end up with Landon Jackson at 35. That everybody will be pissed about except for me, but I don't. I'm kind of surprised how.
Like I wouldn't be surprised right now if Buffalo takes Donovan Ezeraku and then we're doom scrolling for the rest of this stream because that would be tough.
Yeah, Good for Josh Connerly Jr. though. By the way, that's a hell of a pick for Washington. Which I feel like. So the big talking point with Josh Simmons has been medical red flags, right? But he's cleared those. I don't know if you heard anything, can corroborate me on this or not, JT, but it feels like at one point during the draft cycle, there were also some vague character concerns about Josh Simmons too, of the does he love ball variety.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what's causing him to fall.
We've changed our tune completely.
It felt like things were going great. The edges were sliding down the board.
The Falcons trading up for James Pierce that I think breaks the lot.
I think for me it was the Jackson Dart, the trade up for Jackson Dart, that he wasn't available at the top of round 2 for a team to trade up for. Yeah. I think, and that Shedeur Sanders is still on the board. That I don't think anybody's going to trade up for him at this point.
Adam with a comment I can't even entertain. Funny.
Well, I can't read it. Hold on, hang on. I'm just going to look over like this.
Yeah. We're getting off the rails here. Yeah. And we appreciate you guys all being here tonight. Over 1,500 viewers on this stream.
That's nuts. That's kind of crazy. Thank you guys.
We appreciate you guys. Zari Thomas at 35. I'm on board. The Bills are going to take Donovan Ezra. I haven't seen this tip or anything. The Bills are going to take Donovan Ezra and
just to further complicate things, just to see like what.
And I'm just going to crash out because at this point, what are we doing? It's going to be tough to see how they. Curtis saying we're talking Will, like at this point I'm fine with Will Johnson at 35, but like I don't see them doing this. You know?
I don't feel like Will Johnson is a scheme fit here because I don't know that he has the recovery speed to really play press man consistently. I feel like he's going to go somewhere. I mean, to me, like if he ends up with the Patriots at the top of round 2, that's a really good fit. A little more zone, a little more off coverage where he's not going to have to be in as many recovery situations. I'm just like focused on the draft right now, just completely rambling, spouting information from my draft guy.
I do. There's like Bills are you're taking as Logan says, call him Turden. Kind of says Mike Green, Luther Burden, Donovan Ezra, Will Johnson. Here's where I want to stand on this, and I think this is important for people to know.
The next few picks, because if that's how it goes, I will jump out of that window.
I believe for the Titans.
If Burden, Ezra, and Green are all gone, I'm jumping out that window.
John Boy says, dude, if Green is available at 35, run it in. Like I said, if all these other teams who have dealt with character concerns in the past, passing on a guy like Green, it's hard for me to believe that the Titans are going to do the same. I like Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden could be fun in this offense. I don't know. Like, I have good reason to believe that they don't like Luther Burden.
Yeah.
And I think two things can be true. I can talk about how I think they're going to pass on Luther Burden because I just don't think they're going to take Luther Burden, with me also liking Luther Burden. I don't think the Titans will take Green. I think at this point it is Donovan Ezra or bust, as the Bills put their pick in, and it'll be Donovan Ezra right here coming across my screen. And it's going to make me cry. Man, it's taking forever. I was trying to set up a great fit.
Okay, come on, JT, have a hope.
I didn't know. I didn't know that there was somebody else there. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't know. I thought it was Roger Goodell. Adams and take her hasn't locked up. Cage match to the death.
Jeez.
I'm not shaming the kid in the wheelchair if I didn't know he was there. I didn't know he was there.
I'm so intrigued by what the Bills do here. I think the 6 wide receivers in round one take was hey,
Okay.
there we go. Maxwell Harrison.
And
really good athlete, really good speed, fluid guy.
Yeah. I'll let you finish what you like.
No, that's
I think they wanted to go corner. I think he, on a lot of NFL boards, was the number one corner available. I think there was some discussion between Trey Amos and Azariah Thomas for the next one, or Maxwell Harrison. Maxwell Harrison is the pick there. Will Johnson not going, or Maxwell Harrison going before him, I think is really interesting. However, the Eagles are now on the clock. The Eagles have now traded up from 32 to 31.
So is this the Jihad Campbell pick, we're assuming? I will say Hairston is one of the more like scheme-specific prospects. Like, I didn't really even have him on the Titans board altogether because he did play so much zone, such a low rate of man coverage. But he is a really good athlete, really good speed. Get him in the right system, he could very well be the best cornerback to come out of this class. I do think he's that gifted athletically, but man, kind of surprised to see the Will Johnson slide continue.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want a player with good tape, absolutely screaming gigantic red flags off the field or injury concerns at 35, you've got your pick of the litter. Luther Burden,
that's true.
Luther Burden, Will Johnson,
yeah.
And Mike Green. They're at 35. They're going to come with baggage. Listen, this is really interesting because the Eagles come up one pick. It means like which player were the Chiefs going to take that you have to come up with one pick to get? Is it Jihad?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we're Burden? Is it Josh Simmons? Like, those are the only 3 guys I can realistically feel like they're coming up for. So the Eagles the Eagles came up from 32 to 31 and sent the Chiefs 164. They sent them a late fifth, to come up one pick in the first round. They could have waited.
I wonder what they were afraid of. I mean, surely you don't think the Chiefs are going to take the player that you want.
If there's a rocket here, I'm going to crash out. We're going to go into the night here with
my guess is that
doom and gloom.
My guess is that there's probably a prospect out there, maybe falling because of potential injury concerns, that they were afraid if the Chiefs are fielding trade calls, could somebody else come up and get him?
Yeah, that's fair.
And so you give up a 5th round pick.
Yep.
To come up and get him yourself.
So they have the pick.
I'm guessing it's Jihad Campbell. If they were trying to trade up to the Green Bay spot to get him, if we trust Slick Rick, then
he could do it again tonight. He could be right here, and he could do it again. We shall see. So we have
these last several picks feel like they've gone really
dragged
slowly.
On a little bit. Yeah. Be a good time to remind people that we will be back, me and you, doing it tomorrow again night. From our. We need Colton Dowell's replacement, says Christopher. We'll be back again tomorrow night, breaking down the entirety of the 2nd and 3rd round with as many video clips as StreamYard allows me to play, because they simply did not allow me to play them tonight, which I hate. Look, it just doesn't. I don't.
Are we going to play all the ones from tonight?
Yeah,
in succession. We'll just play them in a row.
We might go back and talk about some of these players as well.
Yeah,
Screw it. I mean, at this point, I think we
Why
should.
Not?
But we'll be back tomorrow night live at 5:45, 15 minutes right before the 2nd round starts, taking your questions, going through what the Titans do, going through the rest of the 3rd round. We'll be at our home, so we can get even more stuff that UNC feels tomorrow night, not having to drive anywhere. And then, of course, Saturday. Also tomorrow, we have giveaways. M.L.Rose gift cards giveaways presented by M.L.Rose. Thank you to them as well. I know we didn't say their name a lot tonight, but our presenting sponsor, M.L.Rose. We got the beer glass right there. Thank you to them. I'm probably gonna.
It's been sitting there all night, but okay. No,
I don't know.
it's gotten a little warm.
Yeah.
Probably a little skunky at this point.
Yeah. Derek says, "Where are you going?" I didn't say they could stop drafting. So, sorry, Derek, we forgot about that. Yeah. So I mean, we'll be back tomorrow.
I need a good night's sleep. I'm gonna go home, have a hot cup of tea. I took tomorrow off at the day job. I'm gonna be
Me
on
too.
cover 2 tomorrow, from 1 to 3 on 104.5 The Zone as
So
well.
we'll be doing that, giving away some gift cards. We'll be giving away a poetry book.
Yeah, well, I just said like, hey, if anybody wants one of my poetry books,
We'll be giving that away.
I'll give
For
it away
sure.
to somebody.
We are also, going to be doing that, going through all of day 2 and day 3, and then Saturday we will be live over on the Football and Other F Words YouTube channel at the 104.5 The Zone Studios, which I have never been to. I'm excited to go over
It's
there
so fun.
to see that. And
Couches are super comfortable too.
And as Jake says, get some H2O and electrolytes prepared for the brain rot to come on day 3. There will be some brain rot on day 3, and then we will cap it off and go crazy Saturday night at the Off the Record podcast that will not be live or filmed or anything, but with all of you that decided to come out and show your support. We'll tell some stories. We'll talk about everything that we heard from this draft cycle. Some of our favorite stories from the entire draft cycle. Maybe when I accidentally called Ian Rappaport gay, and I didn't realize that I called him gay.
I don't think I've heard that story.
Yeah, it was fun. Right. Those things happen, and maybe I'll tell.
I listen. I don't want to take up too much of the show because I know like Braden and Paul and Nick can swap stories for days. But you brought up the story of the Ojukwu dagger play. I posted a picture of it on Twitter. There actually is a really fun story to go with that I've reserved as my story if I'm asked to share one.
It's gonna be fun, and I am very excited to share all of those with you guys that come on Saturday. Reminder: there are some tickets available for that here at the Track One building. Same thing, all you can eat, all you can drink,
dude,
with a 5-flight bourbon tasting curated by Sinkers. I just had some of the bourbon that they had left over, and it was delicious. It was so good.
We housed that Shotgun Willie's
today.
That was just
they might need to bring in some more
pile of meat on my plate.
Good.
The beans, it was so good. Yeah, I might go like rummage through the leftovers like a raccoon once this is over. Yeah, just tip the tray up.
I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but I don't like this.
Is this gone? It's gone. Yeah, yeah. So,
my girlfriend just texted me, "How the fuck are you still alive?"
Oh, it's just night 1.
This is night 1.
This is just night 1. Yeah.
You had the comment that like girlfriend can't this. It's night 1. So the pick is in for the Eagles. Here we go. Please not Ezraku. I have to fix my mic. How are we getting this again? How are we getting this?
I don't know. There it is. Yep. The Jihad Campbell pick.
Yep. Slick Rick does it again. Pretty Ricky.
Again.
Never fails here. Good pick for him.
Really complete player. He was 9 overall on my big board. Obviously, kind of like the conversation we had with Malachi Starks, devalued a bit because of the position that he played. Totally. But this is one of the guys that I feel like you watch his tape. I know there are injury concerns, and that's likely what shoved him down the board here. It is really hard to find holes in Jihad Campbell's game. Really good athlete, really good range as a linebacker. Has some potential as a pass rusher. Really aggressive kind of player. Good speed, good athleticism, good fluidity. To me, looked like the type of guy that, like, if the Titans could somehow get their hands on, he is like exactly what this scheme looks for in a linebacker. Good pick for Philadelphia, and the rich just keep getting richer.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely a home run pick here. Yeah, why it's the slowest section of the night. What the hell? I agree. 3 picks in between us and 3 players I would be ecstatic with: Burden, Green, whereas Araku, I'm just telling you right now, I don't think Green is on their board.
Green or Burden, from what we've heard.
Yeah, at this point, it's Ezra for me. It's Ezra or bust. Like,
Yeah,
who are the top 5 available for you on your big board?
top 5 would be Josh Simmons.
It could very much go here.
Will Johnson, Shedeur Sanders, Luther Burden III, and Mike Green. If we take those
Character
two
concerns.
out, if we take Mike Green and Luther Burden III out, we get to Siobhan Ravel and Azarie Thomas, who I don't know that they would be on a corner this early.
And then Donovan Ezra is next.
And then
Nick Emanwari.
Nick Emanwari,
And
Donovan
Donovan
Ezraku, Landon Jackson.
How bad is the stuff with Green and Burden? I think it's bad for different reasons. But I'm just saying.
Oh,
I've
man.
heard some things.
I'm looking at my big board, and there's just
like
there's a big fall off.
He's a top 10 player, and he hasn't gone.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that in and of itself.
You have to have something real, like Jalen Carter. Like Jalen Carter's better than Mike, right? But
Yeah.
Like Will Nolan won tonight, and he had more buzz about his character concerns this entire
James
draft
Pierce had
cycle.
character concerns.
James Pierce had more buzz about his character concerns than Mike Green
McMillan
did.
had
Ted
character
McMillan.
concerns.
Like there are players tonight that went who were maybe not as good of prospects as Mike Green is.
And the thing that's kind of wild here is that you think, okay, well, they could just trade back, but it kind of feels like all the players that teams would trade up for are starting to get picked. Like you kind of thought, well, if Jihad Campbell falls, the best linebacker in the class, maybe somebody trades up on day 2 to get him. Malachi Stark's the best safety in the class. If he slips through the cracks, maybe somebody trades up to get him. Maybe some of these other edge rushers, the defensive tackles we've talked about, none of those guys actually slid to the top of the second round.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like,
So
I think
trading down, the prospects look bleak.
unless someone wants to trade up at 35 for Will Johnson. Like, if I had to predict the next
Boy.
32
Yeah.
shitter, if Simmons doesn't go here, 34 to the Texans, Josh Simmons,
Yeah.
Luther Burden, Ezra Rockins there at 35. If the Chiefs go at here, if the Chiefs go
Well, the
Ezra
pick is
Rockins here,
in.
I will try that.
I thought you were about to say I will take that helmet.
If the
I will
Logan
be
says,
happy.
all right, gents, it was fun. Have a great evening. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you so much for
Being
tuning
here
in.
for
Yeah.
3 hours.
If Ezraku is the pick at 35, all is forgiven. All is saved. Are you getting more scoops that you can't share with the
No,
class?
I know the
Oh,
it's not as a rocket. I won't have to chug the beer.
is it a surprise?
No,
Okay.
someone I just said.
Is it Jared Wilson?
It's not Jared Wilson.
Damn it.
unfortunately.
Damn
Sorry.
it. Jared Wilson's not going to go in the
I'm
first round
sorry.
tonight. That was such a good, well-formulated take, too.
So here's the thing. I don't want to pick, so we'll wait for him to do it here.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait for the pick to come in. But I just thought of something that we haven't really thought of.
And then we can talk about what the landscape looks like going into tomorrow night. So Josh Simmons
Makes all the sense in the world.
Steal for the Chiefs.
Absolute steal. The best tackle tape in this class.
Yeah.
If you put the character concerns aside, if you put the medical concerns aside,
So what does
Josh
that
Simmons is
so
the
where
best.
does that leave the Titans? There are 2 picks tomorrow before the Titans. The players on the board are Shedeur Sanders. I think the Browns could really take at 30.
Yeah.
They could just they're up. Like Shedeur Sanders does indeed fall out of the first round. Shedeur Sanders could be the best player on the board, so they may take him there. 34 then becomes a spot where I don't think Donovan Ezra is a need for them, And I think they end up going Luther Burden.
Unless
I think
somebody
they could look
trades
at
up.
the safeties. I think they could look at the M.L.Rose. I think they could go Xavier Watts. I think it's at this point it's Donovan Ezraku or bust. This is something I like. I'm sorry to be saying this, but like I've said this the entire time. Like you got rid of Harold Landry. Welcome back, Harold Landry. You're taking the second round Boston College.
So some of these defensive tackles kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit. I think there was a crowd that expected Darius Alexander to go tonight.
Yep,
we know that the Titans have been sniffing around this defensive tackle class. I mean, could a guy like TJ Sanders, Darius Alexander be on the board?
Good pick.
How do you feel about the pick, Josh Simmons? Yeah, best tackle tape in this class. You get rid of the medical red flags, the character concerns. Best tackle tape in the class.
Yeah, and so you look at the players that are on the board. Mike Green, character concern. Luther Burden, character concern. Will Johnson,
I hope he takes
injured.
Burden. I want him to take Burden so
and
bad.
Donovan Ezraku, who I think the pick is Donovan Ezraku. So before we get off tonight, let's say our prediction tomorrow. My pick is Donovan Ezraku at 35.
I'm gonna say, just to be different, I'm gonna say Landon Jackson.
Hell yeah, I love that. Well, we appreciate you guys being here for 3 hours and 11 minutes tonight, and we appreciate all of the people who were able to put this wonderful and amazing event on for us tonight. The Snickers Beverages 440 Draft Charity Watch Party. Such a great event supporting the OurKids Charity Foundation. We'll be back tomorrow night, me and Stoney once again. You guys won't yell at me for having a bad mic, I promise. We'll be back tomorrow night, but until then, this has been our live coverage from round 1 of the draft. Who will the Titans take? Who will they supplement their roster with outside of Cam Ward? Who will the Texans inevitably steal right from under their nose at 34? We'll talk about all of that stuff and more tomorrow night. We will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.